Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the best station in the country. This is KBC Channel 1. My name is Victor Lo. How are you doing? It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. The date is what, Mike?
This is 10th of February.
Hey, give us one. Is it masiku zinasonga aje bana?
4 days shy of.
Confirm. But
yes, just 4 days to Valentine, guys. I hope we prepared, you know.
What are you talking?
The Kenyan shilling was bad, or the Kenyan notes. I hope you've prepared for dollars.
Why are you demanding them?
Let me ask.
A dollar bouquet.
Why are you going there?
Sasa give us one, surely.
Tumeanza vizuri.
Let me tell you guys, hii kitu hatuwezi epuka.
Tumeanza vizuri.
Sawa, walisema noti zimekatazwa. Lakini kuna pesa zingine hazijakatazwa jamani.
Creativity. No, there's always a way to do it.
You don't need to run away from this.
Yes.
We can still do it.
We have the basha. You can just wrap it up in a basha vizuri, then take it.
Yeah.
But the only problem is, do not give it to Nduthi to deliver, because you know how to smell it. Mike knows how to smell money.
Well,
alafu kuna hadi pesa za Uganda TZ, you know. You can put even a million bouquet Ugandan shilling.
Hey. That would be like around how much? A million Kenyan Uganda shillings, like around 500 or 1,000 Kenyan shillings.
Creativity is not limited to those creating those bouquets.
We'll always find a way.
Exactly. Kenyans will always find a way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Karibu sana. It's men's affair, don't worry. Vivian will be joining us here very shortly. Today being a Tuesday, let's talk about politics, people and politics, and of course I'll be taking a look at what is happening across the country and across our borders. That will be happening at exactly 7 a.m. Be part of that conversation. And yes, Mike, what do you have on the front page very quickly on the Daily Nation? Governors defy Senate amid bribery scandal. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation.
On the front page of the Standard is trained savages.
Trained savages about the police officers and brutality.
Yes.
Let me read the Star on behalf of Giverson. Make or break test for Kalonzo Rigathi in 2-day retreat. That is on the front page of the Star. So Giverson, I've done that on your behalf, right?
Thank you.
Very good. So we'll be taking a look, in details, these papers. Dr. Peter Mbai is a Secretary, Planning and Economic Affairs, DCP. I'll also be joined by Odoyo Wede, who is a political analyst, and finally Shadrach Mboi, who is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. He's also an analyst par excellence. The three gentlemen will be here at exactly 7. So let's join hands. At that time, Politics 101. Tamu sana. Mike.
Very important, very important. And given that even there's a story here about the Council of Governors threatening to boycott Senate oversight over quote-unquote harassment claims. So we are going to be keeping tabs on that and inform you accordingly. And it's important that you tune in to Good Morning Kenya today, because the conversations that are being held right here on Good Morning Kenya concern your life. And today, the health segment will also be handling matters to do with oral health. So that is a conversation that will be coming to you later on in the program. So before I give you, I hand you over to Giverson, let me give you a quote for today. You've got to walk right into what you want and not look at what you do not want. Stay focused on the goal. You've got to walk right into what you want and not look at what you don't want. Stay focused on the goal. That is a quote by Calvin Lehio. Giverson, what's going on the side of the news?
Let me take you through real quick. My name is Giverson Baina, as Mike said it, and let me steer you through this phase of news from within and across the country. And we begin with the Senate versus governors as matters state of counties is concerned. And 14 counties risk facing sanctions by the Senate for skipping summons and instead opting for a leisurely retreat in Kilifi County. The Senate County Public Investment Committee has warned that it will petition the freezing of further funding to Lamu, Laikipia, Tharaka Nithi, Murang'a, Embu, Makueni, Elgeyo Marakwet, and even Kajiado counties for their governors who failed to honor invites to shed light on how they utilize funds for the 2024-2025 financial year. But the governors are hitting back, claiming the committees have been turned into avenues of intimidation, extortion, and even harassment. Take a look.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable members.
Residents from 14 counties could be starved of resources in the current financial year if the action taken against their governors by senators on Monday is anything to go by.
I have been told that the witnesses who are governors have a retreat in Kilifi.
They have gone to retreat to sleep and eat the money. They have gone to play along the auction.
Sometimes these governors' chair appear within the corridors of the Senate, and then suddenly they disappear, Chair.
This is after governors from Lamu, Laikipia, Tharaka Nithi, Murang'a, Embu, Baringo, Nandi, Siaya, Tana River, Nyandarua, Mombasa, Makueni, Elgeyo Marakwet and Kajiado gave prominence to a retreat at the coast over accounting for how they use public funds in the period under review.
We will not pass disbursement schedule for those counties. We will recommend to the Finance Committee and to the Senate.
All the governors who have not appeared here have decided that they want to deny our people money to come to the grassroots. That must go on record.
Like in northern Kenya, they have drought crisis. That money they have taken to retreat, they should have donated to address the drought that we are facing in northern part of Kenya.
The Senate County Public Investment Committee has further issued summons for Lamu Governor Issa Timami, Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njoki, Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata, and Embu's Cecily Mbarire for failing to appear before senators on Monday.
We summon them to appear before us on Friday.
The Council has resolved that governors will not appear before the Senate Public Accounts Committee until these concerns are addressed.
The senators stated that their audit report must be processed within 3 months after the Auditor General concludes its report. The audit reports are expected to be tabled, debated and passed on or before the 31st of March 2026. But the governors are hitting back, claiming the committees have been turned into avenues of intimidation, extortion and harassment.
Why is it hard if they have not stolen? Why are they going to discuss the Senate in a retreat? And I'm told they want to approach our party leaders to tell your committees to go slow on them.
Yes. Na tukisema 20 sisi wote hakuna mali tutapelekwa.
The members of the Senate County Public Investment Committee have vowed to take their proposals before the Senate tomorrow when they resume. Abdiaziz Hashim from Parliament Buildings.
Oh, that will be an interesting point of debate. And away from that, a family in Kisumu has been thrown into mourning following the loss of 4 siblings who drowned in a quarry on Sunday. Now, the bodies of 4 aged between 8 and 15 years have since been retrieved and taken to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary. Residents are now demanding justice, accusing the contractor of failing to backfill the quarry, which has turned out to be a death trap. Wycliffe Okech has the painful details of what transpired leading to the death.
Kanyakwar village in Kisumu County. Shock and grief was evident as the family of the 4 deceased brothers tried to come to terms with the news of the death of their kin. The mothers of the deceased boys were overcome by grief at the tragic turn of events. Their father, Felix Okoth, recounted what transpired before they received the news of the death of their 4 children.
So jana nilikuwa tu na wao, hawaendagi hapa kwa kware kujiogelea. Tata jana nilishangaa sana walikuja hapa aje. Juu niliwaachia ripoti waoge, wanachotaka maji kwa mfereji hapo kwa madhe, wanaoga. Saa zingine wanachota kwa kisima hapo kwa Edward, wanaoga nayo. So hao wawili wakubwa ndio wanachoteaga hao wadogo wenzake hao. Juu niliokataza hao watu wadogo wasiende kuchota maji kwa kisima.
According to their father, they had gone to fetch water at the excavation site. One of them got into the deep end of the over 5 meters deep water-filled hole and struggled to return to the surface. The other 3 rushed to rescue him, but unfortunately, they all drowned.
Baadaye sikifika saa 12 nikapigiwa simu na father ako hapa, kaniambia hebu kimbia hapa kuna kitu inafanyika. Kamuuliza ni nini? Akaniambia kimbia, watoto wameingia kwa maji. Nikakimbia mbio mpaka hapa, nilikuwa na pikipiki. So kufika hapa nikaputa ndugu yangu mwingine ashaingia ndani. Ameshatoa mmoja, watatu bado wamebaki ndani. so wakasaidiana hivyo hivyo wakawatoa wote.
The family is appealing to well-wishers to support them to bury their children.
Mimi nataka tu mnisaidie nizike hao vijana yangu, Mungu atanibariki tena.
The incident has sparked condemnation with government agencies on the spot.
You cannot come and excavate Maram here without the authority of those who are concerned, those who give you licenses to do the same. So they should be following this so that the full enforcement is done.
They say despite repeated appeals to have the excavation areas cordoned off, little has been done.
It is quite disheartening that we've had this for some time. Last year alone, we lost a child from the same school community.
The locals here want thorough investigations to be conducted and the officers found culpable of any wrongdoing in this entire thing be subjected to the clause of the law. The locals also want landowners to stop abating mining activities that flout the law.
Jamii wetu pia wako na makosa kwa sababu wakati walikuwa wanachimba hii wangeongea na wale warudishe mchanga ili isilete madhara hii, lakini kwa kupenda pesa wanaonelea tu wachukue pesa ibaki namna hii.
The locals here have maintained that they will not allow any excavation works to continue here until their complaints are fully addressed. Reporting for Channel 1 from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
And our President William Ruto says Kenya and Italy have forged a new path in education and research through a number of collaborations while presiding over the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Kenya and Italy. State House Nairobi, Ruto said the initiative will, among others, facilitate the exchange of researchers, faculty members and students, promote joint research projects and enable the shared use of scientific and technological infrastructure between the two countries.
In a significant step towards enhancing educational and research ties between Kenya and Italy, the two nations sealed a deal Monday that will see Kenya gain especially in education, scientific research and technology.
We have a great Kenyan-Italian community in Kenya. We have Little Italy in Kenya. And hopefully we shall have Little Kenya in Italy someday.
President Ruto says the signed MOU would enhance knowledge between the two nations, especially in the rapidly evolving field of artificial intelligence, AI.
We will participate, we will be co-creators of technology, governance, use, and benefits of artificial intelligence.
According to Ruto, the new chapter will play a crucial role in equipping 70 technical and vocational education and training institutions with cutting-edge technology.
Our science, research, technical training, artificial intelligence ecosystem, your coming and your representation of your government here confirms to us the essence of the relationship and the friendship.
The agreement is furthermore expected to enrich the academic and cultural experiences of participants from both nations. Italy's Minister of University and Research, Anna Maria Benini, who was present, expressed her country's commitment to realizing the objectives of the MOU, including the mobility of students, researchers, and university teaching staff.
We have to implement infrastructures, technological infrastructures, large research infrastructures, but the first infrastructures is human capital.
And away from that, the government pathologist is set to conduct an autopsy on the body of Cheryl Odhiambo, a 21-year-old medical student who was reportedly shot dead by police on Saturday in Huruma Estate, Nairobi County. This comes amid rising calls for the police officer involved in the shooting to be held accountable. Now, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has since announced it has begun investigations into the fatal shooting, appealing for calm.
The incident leading to the shooting of a college student triggered violent protests on Sunday as Huruma residents demanded justice for the family. A distraught mother. Robbed of her child by a weapon that should have protected her.
Hakulengwa. Sijui, siwezi eleza vizuri juu mimi nimepata mtoto wangu ako na bunduki ama imepitia huku na alikuwa kwa kazi yake. Kwa kazi yao, amekaa kwa kazi yao. Si nimekuambia saa 1:40 amenipigia simu tumeongea. Saa 1:50 napigiwa ati amekufa. Amepigwa bunduki, ameshutiwa. Na kama angekuwa kijana ningesema hata alikuwa ameleta vurugu. Ni msichana wa shule, ni mtoto wa shule.
The National Police Service says the deceased was caught in the crossfire as they pursued robbery suspects.
Cheryl was minding her business kwa kibanda, anafanya kazi yake, anaendelea na shughuli yake. Ile altercation ilikuwa huko nje ya polisi na nani, she had no business in it. But still, tunaona amepigwa risasi na ameuawa.
With calls growing for accountability and the arrest of a state officer, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority says it is investigating circumstances around the shooting. IPOA says investigators are processing evidence and witnesses that will inform subsequent recommendations. The family, IPOA and human rights activists are expected at the post-mortem examination by the government pathologists on Tuesday.
You know, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation kicked off World Radio Week with a series of events ahead of World Radio Day, set to be commemorated this Friday. Among the activities was an exhibition tracing the evolution of radio from analog era to the digital waves. The global theme of this year's Radio Day is Radio and Artificial Intelligence, innovation that empowers, ethics that inspire, and trust that endures. It highlights how artificial intelligence can strengthen radio's role without replacing the human voice. And here is John Cairo with more.
Monday morning at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation in Nairobi, several exhibitions were on display, showcasing the journey of radio through time and technology as the state broadcaster kicked off week-long activities in the run-up to celebrating the World Radio Day on Friday.
Tumeanza na KBC Radio Taifa, alafu mpangilio huko kesho Tuesday tutakuwa na stations zingine hizi za lugha ya mama. Kwa hivyo tumepanga mambo mazuri, hata umeona mashabiki wetu wamekuja kwa wingi sana, wamefurahi. Wanafunzi pia tumewaalika, wamekuja tukawapeleka studio, tukaonyesha vile yale mambo ambayo tunafanya kule studio.
From analog consoles to sleek digital mixers, studio microphones to mobile broadcasting kits, the celebration pointed to the theme of change from analog to digital. And now, the era of artificial intelligence.
So AI comes as a tool of trying to give a capture on what the intro maybe the presenter need, or the outro that the presenter need. And by the end of the day, we focus on the bigger picture. How can we make super and splendid news out of AI? Remember, it's not replacing us, it is adding value.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's Managing Director, Agnes Kaleche, who toured the exhibition stands, said KBC radio stations had embraced the emerging technologies to enhance audience engagement and expand reach beyond the traditional airwaves.
Look at our, social media pages. When you go to KBC, radio social media pages, and by the way, we have almost like 13 radio stations plus, 7 substations. You'll see a lot of activities. It's not just about one-way communication. We are engaging the public. We are talking to them. We are getting feedback. So radio, you can see that transition from a monologue kind of communication to where we are right now. So exciting things are happening at KBC. I invite the public to come and see the transition of radio, and we're ready to welcome you.
During the festivities, there were renewed calls for institutions of higher learning to anchor media training on innovation, digital storytelling, and the future of broadcasting.
So by 2029, CBE products are coming to tertiary institutions. How prepared are we? But as KMC, we are very prepared, both audio-visual and in cinematics and infotainment and infographics.
On Wednesday, we are having all the dignitaries who will come and see the progress of radio, especially from KBC, where we started to where we are right now. On Friday, very, very exciting event. We are having all the fans of Sundowner. They will come, meet their stars, give feedback, and let's have fun. So I invite the public to come.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation will be hosting a week-long series of activities aimed at showcasing the importance of radio in public education, with conversations centered on the importance of leveraging on the artificial intelligence to ensure that radio is not just surviving, but also adapting to the evolving digital world. John Kahiro for Channel 1 News, Nairobi.
Great stuff right there. And now we take you to Homa Bay County matters irrigation. Residents of Homa Bay County are set to benefit from 164 million Kenyan shillings irrigation project aimed at transforming agriculture and improving livelihoods. The State Department for Irrigation says the project that comprises 2 dams with a combined capacity of 150 million litres is expected to be completed by June this year. Irrigation Principal Secretary Fantas Kimodo says the project will provide water for over 20,000 livestock and support irrigation of more than 10,000 acres, or rather 100 acres of farmland throughout the year. The scheme is said to support drip irrigation to maximize water usage.
Our project reaches over.
Harvest water during the 3 months, which can sustain all the livestock for the remaining 9 months. So from the estimate, you can clearly see that once you do that, the 100 million cubic will be able to sustain at least 20,000 livestock, which will help a lot in improving the livelihood of the community around here. And the other thing also, the dam will also help us irrigate at least 100,000 acres. So also it's going to support other value chains on the food crop area.
As carbonization, African countries have been urged to take coordinated action to influence the International Maritime Organization's proposed net zero framework as global shipping prepares for major changes aimed at cutting greenhouse gases. Now, speaking during a 3-day consultative workshop in Mombasa, the Association of African Maritime Administration's chairperson, Justus Nyarandi, warned that fragmented responses could increase cost and weaken competitiveness. The framework is due to be considered for adoption by the IMO in October this year.
We are endowed with green energy. The change from the fossil fuel is to a green energy. In that implementation, over time, there's going to be surcharge of the shipping lines that are still using that fossil fuel. And this surcharge is going to some fund which will assist to mitigate such effects. We said as Africans, we need to speak with one voice. We need to explore and discuss so that we are able to come up with a solution which we can present to the world.
The transition to low-emission systems offers many opportunities for Africa. This includes modernization of ports and maritime infrastructure, attraction of new forms of investment and green finance, development of alternative fuels and associated industries, skills development and technological upgrading, enhanced resilience for coastal and port infrastructure, and a stronger African voice in shaping future maritime norms.
Now, matters sports. The USA and Canada Rugby Sevens men's team already in the country for the HSBC Sevens Division 2 tournament scheduled this weekend at the Nyayo National Stadium. They arrived today morning, or rather yesterday, with Argentina's women's team to join Germany and China, who have already settled in. Meanwhile, host Kenya have named their national sevens team Shujaa and Lionesses for the upcoming World Rugby Sevens tournament, where they hope to live up to their billing.
Be boosted by the return of John Okoth and Crisanto Joang after injury setbacks that ruled them out last season. David Nyagige earns his first Shujaa call-up following impressive performances on the local circuit, according to head coach Kevin Wambua, while experienced players Vincent Onyala, Kevin Wekesa and Dennis Abukuse are expected to anchor the side as they target a strong start to the three-leg Division 2 series. They'll be co-captained by George Oro and Samuel Asati.
We're at home, so we know there's pressure, but it's some good kind of pressure. I mean, playing in front of your families, your friends, and the crowd will definitely push us to achieve our goals this weekend.
The Kenya Lionesses coach Simon Odongo also unveiled a squad blending experience and youth. Sheila Chajira captains the side, deputized by Freshia Oduor, as young talents Marvel Oswago and Charity Nila received their first national call-ups after standout performances. Stella Afula is back from New York, so is France-based Grace Okulu and the reliable Janet Okello, who was based in Japan.
I think on our part, what's left is just to make sure that we lift the flag of our country high. And this weekend we'll have 12 women.
The team's kits were also unveiled today in an event that also Kenya Power Foundation inject 3 million Kenya shillings towards the HSBC Sevens tournament. Backed by home support at the Nyayo Stadium, both Shujaa and the Lionesses will be aiming to make a strong statement in the opening round of the 2026 HSBC Sevens 2 season.
Now that's where we end this part of the show as far as news is concerned. My name is Giverson Maina, and standby is Victor Olo to steer you up to the next phase of the show. And he's standing by with a very able panel to discuss the state of affairs in the country.
Hapo staki kusikia. Hii nyingine moto sana. This is how we do, yeah. Chill, lay back, straight, stunting, yeah, we do it like that. Zaki moto, do. This party, Zaki moto. Hello Friday, I've been waiting for you for a long time. You just made me live right.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes from Ganagava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonganagava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. 10th day of February 2026. Oh my goodness, 2026. It's now 5 minutes past 7 a.m. Let's get updated on what's happening in the country, politically speaking, and of course across our borders. It's very important. Yeah, my three wise gentlemen are already on set. Let's talk about politics. It's interesting. So, my name is Victor Low. If you're just joining us, this is KBC Channel 1. All right, so I'll be taking you through the front page of our local dailies very briefly. This is the best breakfast show, okay? And if I say that Dr. Peter Mbai is around, Odoyo Wedi Mwalimu is here, and Shadrach Wamboi is also here, you know it's just about to get on fire. You get that? Gentlemen, good morning, good to see you. Gentlemen, good morning, good to see you.
Good morning.
I'm not serving you tea, come on, Evo.
Good morning, good to see you.
Okay. Doctor, you disappeared. How have you been?
I've been good.
Hot water or coffee?
Water will do.
Okay.
Hot water will do.
All right. Good to see you, my brother.
Very well.
How is everything?
Everything is good.
You've been so busy around.
Well, yes, we had to start the year on a high. Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Be a good year so far. Yeah, this is a year to push. We want to make sure by August we'll have won the psychological and the mental war, waiting for the physical next year. It has to be sustained. Yes. Our push to go down and brand ourselves and sell the one-term agenda has to happen very fast this year. We want to leave no doubts that by August we are the government in waiting. We want to make sure that by August, this system and this government know that it's going home. So that next year is just a physical. You must win the battle spiritually, mentally, psychologically first. So that they can know the numbers are gone. And this is very simple.
Who to know?
Numbers don't lie. Now, everybody should know, including the current system and the current government. That's all what we are saying. And ours is not about talking. It's about numbers. Numbers never lie. The 14 million that voted in 2022, today we control about 11 million out of the 14 million.
Okay.
Now, the 8 million that never voted in 2022, you know, legislative voters 22, 14 voted. If elections are held today, we control about 75% of the 80 million that never voted. We want to give them a reason to vote next year. The 6.3 million that the new expected voters, we are controlling 75 to 80% again. So the numbers don't lie, and that is it. So out of the 28 million, the 28 million that will be registered by August this year, we control about 20 million. And those are the numbers. It's very clear.
All right. Dr. Peter Mbai is Secretary Economic Affairs and Planning. That is DCP. That's why he's talking with confidence like that. I'm so sure Odoyo is not happy about that. Can I serve you hot coffee or hot water? Good morning. Coffee. Good. What do you make of what Dr. just said?
This is what they said in 2022, and they promised us to take President William Ruto to Sugoi, and they never did it. And when you see people, their agenda is one term and not highways and not stadia and not hospitals, then you know it is a community hell-bent on having none of their own rule this country. We will be there. This is our country, and we must be in it.
How many spoons of sugar?
1.5.
1.5. Very good. Why 1.5? Politically speaking.
Because it is coffee. If it was tea, it would be 1.
Politically speaking. I'm just trying to imagine how it's going to be come 2027, because now today's our discussion is about the battle royale. When you hear Dr. speak of what is ahead of us, ahead of 2027, then it means that you and I should be ready for that battle. Are you ready?
We are very ready.
Karibu.
We are very ready. Yes.
Okay.
You know the problem in Kenya today is a battle of people fighting for legacy, people fighting for resources, people fighting for ethnic dominance. That is all that it is. Because if we look at the role of a president, in these 3 years, President William Ruto's project surpasses both Uhuru and Kibaki put together. And you can count them, and they are visible, and they are evident. And the same things they complain about now, they never complained about them then. So what we are having now is what those 3 things I have told you about. And I said here before that President William Ruto's main and only opponent is Uhuru Kenyatta. It is not Rigathi, it is not Matiang'i. You see, the political formation that we have today, you remember Jubilee?
Yes.
Uhuru resurrected it, replaced Tuju with somebody else, and now recently he resurrected again Azimio, replaced Junet with somebody else. You wonder if he wants to run for president also. He doesn't want to run. He can't afford anybody surpassing his legacy. He can't afford anybody trying to dominate Kenya in terms of resources. This is the problem.
All right.
And I am telling you people, if you don't stop this now, this axis will be in power for another 30 years. That I can tell you for free.
Which axis?
And this axis of Rigathi Uhuru. And that is the game. And that is what they said in Limuru 3, if you didn't listen. Yeah.
All right. Shadrach is an advocate of the High Court. The axis is going to be there for the next 30 years. And Odoyo Wede is not happy about that. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you. It's Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We've not met this year.
Yes.
You're well?
Yes, I'm well, thank you.
Great.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Karibu sana.
Yes, to be
Gentlemen,
also in the midst of this great
Let's do this. All right.
Yes.
So the axis is going to continue for the next 30 years, meaning, according to him, it really doesn't need that to repeat itself. No problem, anyway.
Well, Victor, I think it's a matter of waiting and seeing. Yes, time will tell, as they always say. So whether or not this axis will be there for a very long time, I think the most fundamental question we need to ask ourselves here and now is whether any of the axes, whether the Uhuru, Rigathi, or the Ruto and other people's axes are there for the benefit of the great people of the Republic of Kenya. So that is the bottom line for me, because in the midst of all this noise between the one term, two term, no term, term, so in the midst of all this noise, the most important question that we need to be asking ourselves is whether the sovereignty of the people will be protected, whether the common man will be assured of going to a dispensary and getting medicine, our children who are back at home facing difficulties, some of them are facing difficulties in joining grade 10, whether they will be assured of education, whether secondary school will be made free for all within the Republic of Kenya. I think those are the most fundamental questions for me, so that we do not lose ourselves or lose sight of what is important in the midst of all this noise between the politicians.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Doctor, what paper do you have? You have the Star. What's the front page of the Star newspaper? Very quickly.
Make or break test for Kalonzo, Rigathi in 2-day retreat.
Ah, nice one. What does it say?
There's going to be a retreat this week for the alternative government team, just to come up with the issues on logistics and the issues on how to move on for the year. What are the priorities? What should Kenyans expect going forward? And all these kind of things. It's just coming together to sit down, issues on coalition building, issues of the issue, to begin looking at the issue of who will take the mantle and all that. Again, not any announcement expected, just to sit down and agree the formula. What is the best timing? What's going to happen? What message are we taking to Kenyans? And all these kind of things. Yeah, so it's going to be there. A very interesting moment. You have seen that one of the things we are going to be doing this year is to move out, literally, all of us moving out to the whole part of the country to simply go talk to our people and keep on. The most basic thing right now, Kenyans are suffering in a big way. Schools, education system, health system collapsed. The issues we are sinking in public debt, and the issue of public finances, corrupt systems. We have problems with the disbursement of funds. E-citizen, a lot of corruption. People need hope. The first thing is to tell people, hold on a minute, it has been very bad. My brother is talking about the 3 years programs. Excuse me, let me tell you, look at the headline of yesterday. We have about 50 corruption scandals in this country since 3 years later. And don't come and begin telling us about going to Singapore. First of all, account for your 4 years. Not 3, 4 financial years. Account, that's about 4 trillion times 4. Almost 16 trillion in budget money. Then add the 4 trillion of the finance debt, public debt rather, 4 trillion, 20 trillion. What the president should be doing anywhere he goes, first of all, come and table. Tell us tangible things, guaranteed minimum returns. Tell us about 1,450 ICT hubs. Where are they? Tell us about industrial parks. What happened? Tell us about specific things. Where is the 1 million jobs per year for the young people? But in the reverse, Kazimaju, people are dying there. We are literally sending people to die. And then the Prime Minister comes and says, you want to blame the young people for dying. Who licenses them? The government. Knows the recruitment agencies. What happens once you land there? Your documents are confiscated and you are forced to sign a contract in Russia that you have been placed into a military operation. Who is overseeing this? The government. Instead of giving the young people jobs, you send them to die. So come and give us what I call a scorecard, right? Instead of coming to...
All of us can see what the president is doing across the country. We can all see that.
Including going literally to go and dish out money, the work that can be done by a junior youth officer in the district. What are you talking about? Let me ask you. Go back to Kibaki era. Would you imagine President Kibaki would go take a loan from World Bank? Finally, and thank God, one of the senior brokers in State House has confirmed it's a loan. They're busy. Come on, you go take a loan.
That was Kibaki.
Wait, I'm just saying, wait a minute. There's a difference. Ask me because I know. There's a difference between empowerment and PR. If you want to empower, give a loan at a very small interest, 3%, right? So that somebody can have the energy to repay back. Then the money can be given to somebody else. You don't go giving free cash. You cannot take a loan which we are going to pay to World Bank, then come and translate it into grants, into free money. That is political. That facility was signed in 2023. It was supposed to be released immediately so empowerment can happen. It had to wait until election year so that it can be used as a campaign strategy. Who does that? So what you're going to do, what you're going to be seen is simple. To tell Kenyans, wait a minute, what Kenyans want, one, is a president who does not fear his own shadows. A president who believes in himself. A president who does not fear other people taking responsibility. A president who, one, anybody going to government next year must swear into one, no corruption. No what I call private interest in public programs, where you see a private hand in all the major programs going on, everywhere, in SHA, housing levy and all those kind of things. Once we agree that Vincent, there's no corruption and all that, we'll have solved 50% of Kenya's problems. Then we come and agree. What policy do we have on health? What policy do we have on education, on mining, on sports, on public finance, on foreign policy? I can tell you this, within 2 weeks of forming government, when people see together who are committed to the moving forward, hear me this, we'll solve 70% of Kenya's problems. Just agree which policy to go by. Like now, the people who came to power, unfortunately, ask me because I know, we tried very hard. There are people who came to power, one, to accumulate wealth. Secondly, kill the constitution, collapse all the systems, get all the power, change the constitution, and rule for 20 years.
When is this retreat?
So there's nothing
Fine, I'll come back to that. When is the retreat?
This weekend.
Where?
Once the SKM, the Dr. Kalonzo comes back to the country in Naivasha.
Okay, in Naivasha. All right. Odoyo, good morning.
Victor, it is very easy to see through people who are deceitful. They are telling us what President William Ruto has failed to do with the ICT hubs. Those ICT hubs are out there. But the laptops that Uhuru promised us in 2013 never came. We can't say never came. The Oduma number that we spent 6 billion on never turned up. The Big Four agenda that Uhuru hyped and spent money on never even resurrected. We were told here that we are renovating the Kisumu port at a cost of 3 billion. They went, moved businessmen, and grabbed the plots and got titles and walked away, having done nothing. This thing we are telling us that we have taken a loan from World Bank to give free people. Where did Eurobond go? Didn't even reach Kenya. This one is being given to Kenyans. I don't even know whether it's a loan or not. But it is being given to, let me tell you, the money in the hands of a Kenyan is the money halfway in the hands of the government. Because they pay taxes right here. That money circulates in the economy. And we are not going to, that money has come from the World Bank as a grant. If these people have granted Kenya money, and Kenya is its citizens, why not empower? These people complain very much about the young people who are not being empowered in this country. What has President William Ruto done? He has chosen those who are seeking to do business, you have Nyota. Those who are seeking employment, President William Ruto has brought so many projects in this country that employs people on the go. especially those who did not get good education, are being employed in the affordable housing schemes, are being employed in the multiple road constructions going on, are being employed in the multiple stadiums being constructed in this country. That lot is taken care of. What about the person who already has a small job, earning him 30,000? He is not going to pay any taxes. You know, the cost of living is high because either your money is less or the cost of goods are high. What has President William Ruto done? He has put money in your pocket by removing the tax for the poor people. And that is how you develop a country. That is how you get to Singapore. You don't get to Singapore by singing one term. You don't get to Singapore by tribal chauvinism.
Just a point of correction. You said that there are no Huduma centers that did not work?
Not Huduma center, Huduma number.
Huduma number?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, I stand corrected because as at July 2025, there are 59 Huduma centers.
Of course.
Yes.
The centers are there. Actually, the centers are not new things. They were just secretariats removed from inside offices onto independent buildings, like the one we have at GPO. It was removed where it was upstairs and brought down, and we called it Huduma number. But the real thing that took our money, 6 billion, is nowhere.
Are we talking about, sorry, let me ask you. We are talking about the current administration. Uhuru is no longer the president.
You have no moral authority to talk about the current administration when you are quiet in the last one.
Because let me tell you, listen, what happens, you take over government so that because you convince people you can do better. So you cannot come and tell us, oh, Jomo Kenyatta, then we go back to Jomo Kenyatta and Moyera. No, we are talking about the person who is holding power. The person who has an instrument of power. You cannot come, oh, Huduma number, oh, it happened, oh, see what? That is why, when the education system, everybody agreed it was rushed. But we said, since you are in power now, don't keep on telling about the CBC system that maybe had issues. You come and fix it. You can come and give us stories about, oh, it happened in the 1960s. You took power, believing that you had an idea. It is very clear 4 years later. All the advice from technocrats, it was lashed under the table. All the advice from people, the best in this world, civil service servants in Kenya, whatever they say to be done on public finance, on education, on health, the only delivery that happens in this country, it delivers in the mind of one man. The delivery. No other person that knows anything happening. I can tell you this. You cannot come and tell us your biggest flagship is affordable housing. When the Auditor General have said it's a scam herself, the report is in Parliament. You cannot go and own, please Kenyans listen to me. You cannot own a private house on a public land. It will eat you up. Okay. That's why I'm saying those houses must go back to county governments. And we refund the money. And we must free people from the pay slip. If you want, who tells you? Why should I take money from you by force, Vincent? Telling you that I deduct money from you to go and do a house for someone else. We are not a communist country. We are capitalist. You go, we want to free your pay slip. Decide where you want to go buy land in Kamuru. Or wherever and more and go and build. That is your personal responsibility.
What are you planning to do with my pay slip?
Thank you. Free it. Let my people go. That is a
What are you planning, you as DCP, to plan to do with my pay slip?
We are going to free your pay slip so that you can be free to go and do whatever you want with your money.
By doing what?
Remove the housing levy. Okay? We remove the housing levy. Now, look, they have added. They check. Look at what's happening. Oh, 3 million Kenyans. Listen to me. No 1.5 million Kenyans. Under that 1,000. We made a calculation because that's what we do every day. How much is that? Government is trying to save 6 billion. If you put the amount of money they are making from these deductions on SHA, on housing levy, it's 50 billion. They are making money from Kenyans.
Don't you think President William Ruto is also able to do that? Let me get to hear from Wakili. Wakili.
Well, Victor, sometimes you want to listen and sometimes learn.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but I think the view that I hold is that historically, and I think since man was created, we have always cherished heroes. We have cherished the idea of, people who sell hope, they go and conquer. And I think that is something that politicians have, over time, embraced as their tool of trade. They use it to lure the members of the unsuspecting public. Some of the voices that you hear in this political divide, the one that Daktari is championing, and I have a lot of faith and confidence in Daktari, by the way. I know that he can do something for the people of Nakuru. But be that as it is, the majority of the tenants in that house called DCP are people who are in this current administration. So that whatever they seem to tell you as a people, we must take it with some certain pinch of salt. We must not readily believe them until they tell us that something so fundamental has changed that we now have to take them as speaking the gospel truth. The truth of the matter is, when we want to speak about the housing levy, the last people who should be speaking about the housing levy are the majority of the members of parliament who have been in the UDA, elected under the UDA political party or the Kenya Kwanza coalition. And they are the same people now coming out loudly to tell us that the idea of having this affordable housing was a bad idea.
Yes.
So that is not something that we should be readily, we should readily accept as the gospel truth. These are people who have been in government for the last 3 years. So they cannot tell us that when the ruling party decided to have, to eject Rigathi Gachagua out of the ruling party, then for some reason they became brighter. So if we are to be honest with ourselves, we need to be led by principles.
Yeah.
If you believed that the housing levy, including the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, was there when it was being passed. This was the first initiative that was passed by the ruling party in the year 2023, during the passing of that first Finance Act of the year 2023. So it was passed by the ruling class. Now, the same people who are telling us that it was not a good idea. So sometimes you want to believe that it is better the devil that you know than the angel that you have never seen. Because you can't tell us that this housing levy is a bad idea. That is number one. Number two, the most of the very loud speakers, loud crusaders of that political alliance where Dr. is hailing from, are people who are currently, even as we speak, they are still tenants at Kenya Kwanza UDA party.
What, Dr. can you confirm that?
No, what he's saying
Yes.
is that most of the MPs who support DCP
Yes.
and they're not Rigathi Gachagua, of course, they're still members of UDA.
Exactly.
That's not a big issue.
No, it's a big issue. It's a big issue legally speaking. Legally speaking, because you see, we have laws so that we have some decorum in the conduct of our political affairs. The law abhors a situation where you are hailing from a political party and championing the ideals of another.
Yeah.
And that is something that the law has precluded. It has prevented us from doing. For some time, you've had terms like political prostitution or something. This is something that the law wanted to protect, so that the common man knows that I am going for this individual because of the ideals and the principles and the values that he espouses. So that if for one reason or another, we have an MP, we have a senator who was elected under the UDA, a political party, then there is nothing that prevents them from resigning from that political party and then seeking a fresh mandate under the current outfit that they find appropriate as the circumstances will dictate. So that if you ask me, if I had my own member of parliament standing out strong telling us that I am done with the UDA, let me go back and seek a fresh mandate from the people because we have a commission that is properly constituted, the IBC is properly constituted. I will take that member of parliament even more seriously.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a quick break. But when you come back, it is the battle royale, the drone. The battle line is already there. You can already see what's happening. Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo are having a retreat so soon over this weekend. Dr. You can confirm that? Yes. All right. A venue to be confirmed. And we are seeing a lot of movements. Azimio. So which means Azimio is still alive? All right.
Azimio is there.
Azimio is there. Fine. Because I'm asking that because we can see there are lots of changes. President Uhuru Kenyatta stepping down, giving Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka that position. And now Kalonzo Musyoka going for a meeting and a retreat with Rigathi Gachagua, meaning Azimio is still working with Gachagua. Right?
What I know is that
Azimio is working with Gachagua, if he's still alive.
Azimio is there. That's why discussions are going there to see how things will span out. Let me put it there for now. In short, the discussions are going on. Right now, as you speak, these are some of the things that are going to be discussed.
For Azimio?
So allow the leaders to sit down and figure out what happens after this. Allow me to say that for now. So allow discussions to go on to figure out how the whole issue goes, a change of name or not, what will happen in the coalition.
A change or not?
Well, a coalition has to have a name, right?
So Azimio is dead?
Wait, as a coalition have to have a name. Okay. Allow the principals to agree which name to go with.
So which means President Uhuru Kenyatta is still going to work with Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka?
Let me tell you this.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break.
Let go. I need to check your ID. I'll call security. Let go.
Let her go. Hands off her.
Don't overdo it. You've been working the night shift for months.
Why get other staff to take your shifts? Why do you youngsters always ask for so much? Why can't you just figure it out yourself? Why should the hotel pay for your problems?
Have a nice day.
What did you do to my car? Come here!
Sir,
get over
calm
here!
down.
Well, look here!
Friday night again.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Mambo ya kuungua na moshi ambapo mke tuko naye huyu. Nishakwambia wakati wowote, saa yoyote njoo, na kama una njaa mwambie Amina chochote unachotaka kupikia. Huyu ni kama bibi yako pia.
Unaweza kuwa wewe ni mzuri, uolewe na mwingine bongolala. Siwezi kutoka siku moja nikupeleke picnic. Uende ujionee, jionee hata tupitie mahali kama hizo zinauzwa.
Sasa leo wewe wananiambia twende mimi na wewe picnic. Wataka kunivunjia nyumba yangu masanduku. Taona naye ulimletea bibi hapa karibu.
Bibi nani?
Mimi je?
Yaani mimi sijui kumbe masanduku ashakuoa. Baba hawezi kutoka paka leo nimchafue. Hapana. Hapana.
All right, welcome back. So I'll come back to you, Dr. What do you have on the front page of the Standard? I'm being asked for the sake of fairness.
The Standard is written, trained savages.
All right, what does it say? For the sake of our audience, go ahead.
It is saying that at a time the family of killed KMTC student is seeking answers, the police in a statement, rather than give assurance, revealed the callousness with which it treats human life. In an outrageous turn, it seemed to blame residents for the death, which points to a remorseless service unable to tame officers thirsty for the next drop of blood. Despite valiant efforts made to turn the police force into a service, to align it with the requirements of the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, whose spirit is to save life, the behavior therein have stuck in a gone by era.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Wakili, Daily Nation, if you have there.
Yes. So rogue accusations of lawmakers demanding bribes have persisted and even forced dissolution of a committee in 2015. So governors defy Senate amid bribery scandal.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
This is a story that almost replicates what was happening last year. There were accusations from the president accusing the members of the National Assembly.
Some committee members.
Yes. From, asking asking for bribes before certain bills can be passed or processed in Parliament. So I think now the CEOs of the counties are now apportioning the same equal blame to members of the Senate. I think I had Mudhomi Njuki, governor for Tharaka Nithi, accusing, I think, 4. He didn't mention names, but he indicated that about 4 senators are the ones that are notorious for asking for bribes or extorting some of these governors, so that either they can write favorable reports, they can't press them hard with questions. I mean, this is what we do. We just play games with serious issues.
Yes. Okay.
Vic, those are very serious allegations, and we cannot let it pass.
Yes.
The allegations on the governors?
No, that is very serious. Whatever governors are trying to say, they must be accountable. It is very simple. There is a law. By the way, senators only go to ask questions list in the Auditor General's report. Come on. It's not the Senate that does the report. It is Auditor General that lists issues. And by the way, you go to clarify. And let me put it clearly, because I've served in county government. By the time the Auditor General lists a report, indicting you or trying to say that money was lost, they have done letters to you to answer. They have not found responses. Please let us understand some of these things on devolution, right? By the time the Auditor General likes to say we couldn't account for this money, they have already written to you letters at the county. They have not seen responses. So governors should not come out trying to cry trying to say, oh, extortion, or they are harsh and all that. Come and answer questions for Kenyans to hear. Okay. Look at some of the things that are being said where money is getting lost. I can tell you this, if you're not careful, seated here, if you're not careful with the county governments, in another 10, 15 years, they are going to close down. Because they were meant to be centers of production. They are now centers of consumption. They are now centers of consumption.
I think, Victor, if there is anywhere I agree with Dr. Mbai, it is that one. Governors are increasingly becoming rogue, and they don't want accountability. They have emmuzzled the MCS in their areas that the MCS can say nothing. The only organ left to oversight the governors now, because they bribe every other government agency down there, is the Senate. And it's only the Senate also which is transparent enough to oversight the governors by questioning them in public as this country hears. And that is what they don't like. It is not that they are being questioned. It is they are being questioned on camera, and the people see the question they are unable to answer. And this thing has been triggered by your own governor. She has been called to appear before this committee twice, and she has not gone. And the last time she was there, she could not answer certain questions.
Who is your governor?
Just wait.
You are speaking in parables.
Wait.
Who is your governor?
Wait, Bwana, you'll ask that later. So they went and had a retreat to come and sit and defend one of their own. The governors literally use all the development money to the last cent. What they do is they take a portion of it and procure goods and services.
Okay.
Then they don't pay the service providers. The other half, they just embezzle it. So in the end, that money, they use all of it 100%. If you walk across the country, you will meet projects done by CDF, but you will not meet projects done by county governments.
Okay. So I think the Daily Nation has given some names here. There are some governors who were invited on Monday. That is yesterday, but missed. One of them is Stephen Sang of Nandi, James Orengo of Siaya, Joshua Rungu, Laikipia, Mudhomi Njuki, Tharaka Nithi, Cecily Mbarire of Embu County, and Irungu Kangata of Muranga, and finally Issa Timami of Lamu. The Daily Nation is also saying that there are some governors who are notorious for snubbing Senate. Abdul Samad Nasir of Mombasa, Abdi Guyo Isiolo, Lati Lelit of Samburu, we have Simbarati of Kisii, Gideon Mungaro Kilifi, and finally Fernandez Baraza of Kakamega. So that is on the front page of the Daily Nation. I think we've covered all the 3 papers. Go ahead and take a paper of your favorite choice and run with it. The Battle Royale. So what we are here, now, based on what Dr. is saying, and that is where my interest is, we can see a lot of changes in Azimio, clearly. Already registered.
I think I need to. I think you have talked too much. We need to sometimes balance what you are saying.
You asked me a question and you went to break, Victor.
Okay.
Can I take 1 minute just to respond to that before?
What do you say, Odoye, first of all?
I think we are not running away from here before 8.
Thank you.
So Mbai will talk.
So,
we need to understand the kind of politics why I keep on regressing to the previous regime. Because it is the very guy who presided over the previous regime that is now arranging opposition to President William Ruto. Immediately we got out of the last 2022 elections, he arranged Azimio to go into the streets to talk about cost of living and stolen elections. Yet, President William Ruto had not even read his first budget, and you are telling him about a cost of living. But immediately, Azimio got out of the streets. Kioni, Karua, and Kamanda walked across to go and join their clansmen in the Rigathi Gachagua camp, to go back to the streets under the disguise of 2024 Gen Z pricing, which they concocted in Limuru. Now, Uhuru came back and resurrected Jubilee and gave them a presidential candidate in the name of Matiang'i.
Yeah.
Because he knows Matiang'i has no spine and weight to defeat President William Ruto, he's now resurrecting his old cow, Azimio. And he has fired the people he thinks will support what they call a broad-based government, like Junet, and putting people who are friendly to his cause of one term. You cannot come here and tell people one term on the basis of failing to perform when you fail to perform more. That is why I keep on reminding you of the past. You know, elections are not like exam. Exam, we can all go to it and we all pass or all fail. But election, however bad we are, one will win. However good we are, one will win. So that is why election is a comparison between one people or two people or three. That is why I keep on comparing for you. That you are saying that President William Ruto is bad and should go home. What about Matiang'i, who served under Uhuru, that they are returning back? That Matiang'i they want to return back to replace Uhuru, disobeyed 12 court orders, brought for us this thing called the Huduma number, and it never saw the light of day. This is the person who did things without public participation, changing the police uniform, changing the bus uniform, and talking to MPs like they were children. And this is the person you want to put at them because Uhuru wants somebody who will take care of his clan in the future. No, this Kenya belongs to all of us, and we must all have the opportunity to govern it equally.
Okay. Wakili.
Yes, Victor. I think from the long speech by Molemu here, one thing that you will have to understand, and we must be very fair to everybody, is that the more things change, the more they remain the same. The forest has always been changing, but the monkeys are still the same individuals. So the real pawns in this political game are usually the people. And that is why the people must be very careful in the political choice that they will ultimately make. Remember, some of the people, and I mentioned it earlier, some of the people that have messed this country, some of the people that are calling other people names or alleging that other people have also failed this country, are the same individuals that took us down this road. So they have now reinvented themselves. They are now donning another different color. As opposed to the yellow, they are now donning probably green. They are now, some are donning red. So we just need to be very careful in the political choices that we make. And that is why Sheria Mtani, what we've been doing in our civic education, because I've been going around, especially our constituency, and sometimes when I have opportunities like this, I have been mentioning, I have been telling the people that you need to be careful not to choose people because of their political affiliations. Choose someone because of what you know they can do for you, the capabilities that they have for you. In any event, we are not going to have leaders or candidates for the 2027 elections who are going to hail from Uganda or from heaven. Nobody's going to descend from heaven to Kenya to come and seek political office. We are individuals that know each other. We have gone to school together. Some of us have been here, we've been given opportunities of power, and as it has always been said, if you want to know a man, give him power, and you will know who that man is. Some of these people had the opportunity of being given power. They were dining with the high and mighties in this country. At that time, when they were up high and dining with the mighty, they did not have anything to do with the common man. Right now, when the tables have turned, they are now eating with a chicken. They have now reinvented themselves, and they are singing the song that the people are sovereign. We just need to be careful as a people so that we don't get lost in between the noise.
Okay. You say you're running a program called Sheria
Mtani na Shadrack Wamboi. What we do, we've been doing this thing for the last 6 years. What we do, we've just been trying to make legal knowledge are available to the members of the great public. Last month we secured a very good judgment. A judgment that stopped the county government of Kajiado from illegally collecting inflated land rates on allotted land. So we've been having sessions with the people. I've been going around the Kajiado North constituency trying to educate the people. Because as the panelists of course mentioned before, is that we have governors who are not keen on doing justice to the public, especially when it comes to the use of public resources. So we have resources that are given by the national government to the county government. And then we have the on-source revenue that is raised by the counties. So sometimes because it is very easy to discern and to discover the misuse of public resources, especially from resources that have come from the national government. It becomes easy for the county governments to misuse and sometimes even plunder resources that have been acquired through the on-source revenue. So that they demand, like for instance in Kajiado, people who have allotted land are by law supposed to be paying 1,500. Now, through a law that was passed in the year 2023 by the county, this cost was exaggerated, was to 7,500. So we went to court, we fought it for about 1 year, and we got a judgment from the Environment and Land Court. I have been going around because even as we secured that win, the county government still insists on levying more than what is required under law. So we must continue educating the members of the public so that people, when push comes to shove in the year 2027, in August, I think that is the day that we are waiting for the battle. People will make informed political choices. You will be choosing someone, not because they hail from UDA or DCP or all these political parties, no. We'll be electing Victor Olo, Shadrack Wamboi, Mwalimu, Daktari Mbae, because of what you know they stand for, their track record. No, not because they are good politicians, because they only claim, some of these politicians, they only claim to glory, is that they are politicians and they know how to play the game.
I think that's a very good point there, because we must get out there and choose good leaders.
Yes.
That's a good point. Thank you, Wakili. Now, allow me to take you back, Daktari. Before you took a break, you want to say something, and I ask a question, and I want a gentleman to talk about this, because now we are seeing the resurrection. Mwalimu said, Uhuru Kenyatta resurrected Jubilee, and now Jubilee is now reinventing itself, getting members, getting its strength, and now Rigathi Gachagua has, they have been, friends. There's a retreat. So does it mean that Azimio is working with Rigathi Gachagua? Question number one. Does it mean that Uhuru Kenyatta is going to work with Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka? Number two. Where does that leave him? That's the battle royale I want us to talk about right now. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. One, the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, has every right to associate. He's a Kenyan, he's a statesman, and he has every right to take whatever political direction that he wants. I don't know why this government, any mention of Uhuru Kenyatta is scaring them very badly. I don't know what they have done, that they are so scared. Like they have, like you can go and tamper with something, then when you hear the parent coming, you are shaking all over. The issue of Azimio, I've just said, it is the right of the Uhuru Kenyatta to structure, not to revive. The word is not revive because it was not dead. To structure. However, the question you are asking, how Azimio will fit into the whole bigger plan of the alternative government plan will be discussed in due course by all parties. Then we are going to see whether we are going to go with the name of Azimio or we are going to get another name. All those things will be discussed in that formula. Now, the other time, people asking is Uhuru Kenyatta working with Rigathi, who is working with who? I can tell you this, that we are all coming together. We are going to get the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, as a son of this country, not as a person from Mount Kenya, because he's a statesman. Somebody who has been a head of state is above there. So we are going to we have invited the Uhuru Kenyatta to be part of this team of alternative government next year. That is not a secret. I don't know why people are shaking all over the place, like they have done something wrong. This is his right to join the team. Remember, the Eugene Wamarwa, Fred Matiang'i, Kalonzo Musyoka, all these people have worked with Uhuru Kenyatta, including the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. So Mother Karua was a running mate for Raila Odinga last time, and all of them working under Uhuru Kenyatta. There's no reason, there's no problem with all people working together for that. That's number one. And I want to say this, please. I want to request our people, let the government. You have been there for 4 years. You have had all the money and the army and tear gas. Please concentrate on selling what you have done for Kenyans, and let's meet on the barrel. There's no shortcut here. Don't begin running around, getting scared and all that. But I want to tell Wakili, just very important. One, there is no problem, Vic, for a member of parliament, either Senate or National Assembly, or even a member of the county assembly, to decide that I was elected on UDA, but in 2027, I'll change my political course. They are not saying that they are changing their course now. They are here, yes, but you must plan about tomorrow. They are simply saying, I was elected on UDA, but I have a right to decide on which party I'll defend my seat on 2027. So we have a case of Raila Odinga, who resigned, I think that was the 1990s. So when he disagreed with Ford Kenya, that was his. Somebody can decide to resign, go seek mandate, or wait. There's nothing wrong with that. So you cannot come and tell us, what is UDA MPs doing, yet they are saying DCP? I'm just telling you, because we have to understand these things. Myself, I was elected on Jubilee one day, and we wait until the end, and I voted on UDA the other time. Now let me tell you something else. Wakili, at no point, because I was part of the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza, did we say Kenyans would be taxed to do affordable housing? It's not there in the manifesto. I want you to go look at it. The President Uhuru Kenyatta did all those houses in Mukuru without taxation, without a housing levy. The ones that are being now, dancing all over the place. The president is dancing over the whole night there, saying that it is his project. It was started by Uhuru Kenyatta. The same PS called Hinga was a PS. They did a lot of work without a penny of the housing levy. So that's for record. Number two, this issue, all this talked about SHA. We had proposed upgrading of NHIF until something was brought down the throat of Kenyans, because some company had to come in, a private company that is milking 2.5% of all the money that is being received by SHA contributors. So this is where shift happened. And when you keep on saying, Wambui, that some people who are here, they are the people who are in this government, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua has been very consistent. What you do as an advisor, Vic, you don't go shouting the first day saying, hey, I've given this advice to the president. No, you advise. Until a time when it was no longer possible, because your advice is not taken and the country is going to a wrong path. Remember, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the second. The first one was a learning curve. Because, remember, we had said, don't overtax Kenyans. But I don't know why. The president came thinking, let me milk this one cow until it drops dead. What we had proposed, widen the tax base. Let everybody pay 20 shillings. Every market person pay 20 shillings, then the money will be more. But what happened in this government, it was taxing the first day. You remember the first Madamano on finance bill? It was about overtaxation. The second one, Rigathi Gachagua said, he went to and he said, I've listened to the ground. People don't want more taxation. That is where the problem begin coming between me and the president and President Ruto. The Honorable Rigathi Gachagua opposed the issue of Gen Z's killing. That's why he had a problem with the president. Remember, he had a problem with us invading South Sudan. He was told to sign a letter inviting the deputy. He refused. Because what you do as a deputy, what you ask is to advise. You cannot be advising the public. You advise until the time that comes and say, if I keep quiet anymore, Kenyans will ask me, where was I? That is why it came to a place, even including myself, it was no longer possible to continue advising. Because the things you are saying, instead of them being done, you are being humiliated. So you just decide and say, wait, there's a bigger cost for Kenyans. Let us go out there and tell Kenyans the truth. And that's why we are saying, please, let this government concentrate on giving us the scorecard of what they have done for 4 years, not take us to Singapore. I didn't think Amwalimu would mention Singapore in this show. Surely, it's a scam, it's an illusion, it's an imaginary thing. Don't come and mention such things here. We should know better in this panel.
You can't gaslight me not to mention Singapore. You know, Singapore is a very small country that came from nowhere to somewhere.
Those are stories, and we know those stories you used to read in school. Stories of some imaginary countries that happened. There are some women.
Let me know when you finish.
There are some women even who think that Singapore they are going to go one day with a matatu. It is very sad.
Can you respond? Very good.
You can always take Singapore and paint it with bad everything. But let me tell you, Singapore was a very good choice for a benchmark. because we can't say we want to be like America, we want to be like the United Kingdom. We can only be like a country that was where we were only a few years ago and has now improved. And Singapore was one of those countries which do not have any known natural resources and got to where it is. And so that is the only way we can put a benchmark that we strive to achieve. But let me tell you, you are telling us here that Uhuru has legitimate rights to participate in the Kenya politics.
Uhuru again.
Wait a minute. And that is why I am telling you, he's a legitimate target for political battle. He's our target because Uhuru is the sponsor of all these things. And you know it. We have said it here. You have told us about Azimio. You have told us about Resurrecting Jubilee. You have told us about him attending the meeting and leading everyone into a unity against a president that he promised 10 years that he never gave. This is a person who betrays everybody he works with. He cheated Raila Odinga that he was going to make him the president. But the moment the BBI failed that was going to make Uhuru prime minister, he stopped supporting Raila. And immediately, President William Ruto was sworn in. He led this guy to the streets. So this is a guy we cannot rely on. He has betrayed everyone. But let me remind you that Uhuru came up with the Big Four agenda: manufacturing, housing, universal health, and food security. None. Galana Kulalu failed. It is President William Ruto who came and resurrected it. Universal health care failed. It is President William Ruto who came and brought SHA. Manufacturing failed. It is the president that is now bringing manufacturing points in every county around in the form of where manufacturing is going to take place in all those counties. So all these things that Uhuru failed to do, including affordable housing, was Uhuru's original idea. That never took off. You are telling us about that he built a few houses here which were never even completed in all the years he was in power. And President William Ruto has come and done it in every county in just 3 years. We can't compare these two people. We can only compare them when Uhuru is leading onslaught against President William Ruto. Let's do this. Kenya belongs to all of us. Let's count the projects that the president is doing, and let's compare it with those that were done in the past. Why do I say so? Because the people who are queuing to remove President William Ruto, like Matiang'i, like Rigathi, like Kalonzo, were there. They were players in the political field, and nothing was achieved when they were in power.
So that just paint for me a picture of how it's going to be.
Yes.
After this meeting, and the brilliant ladies and gentlemen, already sat down and they have a verdict out there. What are we looking at as a form of the battle royale?
Let me tell you for free.
If we can be in a position to preempt.
Let me tell you for free. People are still singing and talking about united opposition, before a candidate is mentioned. The moment it is not Kalonzo, Kalonzo will tell you, I am too old to wait for anyone else. If you put Kalonzo, some of these people will say, we thought it was going to be our son. The reason why 1.5 million votes came from Mount Kenya to Raila Odinga is because they did not have a candidate of their own. They did not. If they had, all votes would have gone to one candidate. So don't be cheated that the talk of united opposition, the talk of retreat, it will do nothing. It will do nothing. And these people, Matiang'i, has no capacity to wage a political war against President William Ruto. So the moment he is not the candidate, nobody in his backyard will follow him. So I can tell you for free, this election is going to be decided in the final end on the basis of the performance of this government, on the basis of Rironi Mau Summit Road, on the basis of Talanta Stadium, on the basis of the SHA, on the basis of the multiple projects going on in and around this country. That is what is going to decide this election. It is not going to be decided on tribal arithmetic, regional balance, sijui one-term slogans. It is going to be decided on that basis. It is going to be decided on well-known, recorded, documented performance of a sitting president.
Wakili.
Yes,
it's going to be a big battle, right?
Indeed. I think from even the speeches we are hearing from the panelists.
As we take a break.
Yes, but you know, I have some little right of reply.
Yeah.
Yes. so Daktari, I just need
what have I done? What is he replying to?
I just need to illuminate the minds of the viewers and the listeners at home, so that, of course, even with the academic prominence of Daktari, that sometimes when he's pulling our leg, we can also try and illuminate the mind of the viewer. Now, I agree with Daktari, at least on the face value, that there is nothing wrong with you know, being an ODM member, being a UDA member, anticipating that in the elections of the year 2027, you will probably run with another different outfit. There is nothing wrong with that. That is even a planning. The problem is, and this is what the law abhors, is that while you are elected by one outfit, then during the continuation of your term or before the expiry of your term, you tend, by conduct or by implication, to associate yourself and to espouse the values and the principles of another different party. As we speak right now, we have so many members of parliament and senators who are elected under UDA, who every now and then hurl insults at the president. Mine actually wished the president to die at some point when he was you know, speaking in a public forum. And yet this is the person that blessed him. Actually, William Ruto blessed this person, gave them the resources for them to persuade us or to have at least an equal platform for them to compete fairly with other members of parliament. So what am I saying? I'm saying this, that for us to weed out some of these, you know, the political, some of these games that we see with our politicians, what we need to do is we need to be honest with ourselves, that if for one reason or another you don't like the policies, or you do not want to be associated with the policies of the party that elected or had you elected into office.
Thank you.
You just need to walk out. Be brave. Be brave. If you are man enough, be brave, go back to the people. Tell the people, I no longer, like mine, keeps on calling the President Kasongo. You, Kasongo, I no longer want to be associated with you. So what I have done, away with your party, let me go and seek fresh mandate. Right now we have a fully constituted IBC. Lastly, sorry.
Wait, let's just take a break. It's already 8:01 and the director is saying we take just a quick break.
But there is one other element.
I will do that. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to give a fresh mandate as we continue this battle royale, the final leg. Stay with us.
was a polo event that we got to attend at the Nairobi Polo Club.
From stylish outfits to thrilling polo action, it was a day to remember.
You know, there were different stalls that were showcasing different things that are connected with fashion.
Beautifully brought cultures together. It got to showcase unique and authentic designs crafted from diverse African fabrics.
Call entertainment scene speedily twirls into a lucrative business venture among the young and agile Abantines.
The group is made up of Israel Onyach and Yoya Tajiri, two artists who have grown into one of Kenya's most promising contemporary music acts.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first. You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1. Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Welcome back. All right, so the battle royale continues. Doctor, are you okay?
Yeah, me, I'm good. I'm good, but I've seen Wakili's pointing at me saying I have a right of reply. There's nothing wrong I've done.
Very good.
Yes, you know, I was just trying. Yes, I was just trying respectfully to take us down the memory lane so that we do not forget where we are coming from. Because a man's future must be informed by his past.
Correct.
So that you just want to introspect some things so that you get to understand who is telling the truth and who is just lying to Kenyans. Speaking of this housing levy, because it's important, it is something that has been dragged through and through. This housing levy, the tax, was passed in the bill that was passed in the year 2023, the first one, under the Kenya Kwanza regime. During that period of time, Daktari was part of the government. Daktari, I think, exited the government sometime in January last year or something. Yes.
And when was it, Daktari?
I think January 2025. Okay. Yes. So that it is important that we also get to understand what were the feelings of these individuals who are supporting that initiative then, and why have they had a change of heart as we speak now, so that we can be accountable for what we did during those period of time, or that period of time when we were given an opportunity. Because most of us tend to run away from accountability. We are speaking about accountability of governance, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even when you're given an opportunity of being a caretaker in a building, there are certain responsibilities that you will be having, so that when you are asked certain questions, you need to be accountable and respond to them robustly. So we need to find out, because these members of parliament who are now pointing fingers at others were the ones that were pivotal during the passing of this law that is in issue. What did they do during that time?
Yeah.
And even more, now that they're still in power, because a majority of them are still members of parliament, they're still senators, they have an opportunity, if there is a problem with the law, if there is a challenge with the law, they have an opportunity of presenting the bills, proposing amendments to these provisions that, some people or they themselves found to be uncomfortable. So they don't take action when they are given an opportunity. Instead of doing what they were employed to do in parliament, what they do is just running around. And that is what I call political dishonesty. So that if we are to be true to ourselves, if you find something uncomfortable, rush to court, like Okiya Omtata has always been doing. I mean, Omtata is part of senators. And sometimes when the Senate passes something that he does not even believe in, he will go ahead and challenge these provisions in the court of law, so that you weigh these provisions as against the Constitution.
Yeah.
so that the will of the people ultimately is either seen to be done or is done.
Yes. Okay, I ask a question on how we are trying to foresee the 2027 election panning out. We have got several formations, Mwalimu, because what has it, and I think Dr. Mbai, you'll have to help us understand this. There is a looming handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Gachagua?
They have been talking.
They've been talking?
They have been talking for the longest. So what people are calling a looming handshake is maybe appearing in public together. But they have been talking for the longest time.
You know what that really means? Appearing public together. They have never appeared anywhere.
That is it. And
we've been here.
And
so
the time
is that a subtle
and the time will come.
Okay.
And the time will come, but they have been talking.
Sawa.
I mean, they are neighbors. I mean, there are a lot of things together. And there's no way you can expect that the Honorable Gachagua is by and large the political leader of the Mount Kenya without referring to the elder statesman called Uhuru Kenyatta. So they have been talking, and it's been going on. And I don't know why people are shaky. It's a reality. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
The handshake is coming?
Big time. Let me tell you.
Oh, okay. So it's not just appearance.
I started the show by telling you we have locked 20 million of the 28 million plus. Already locked, done, dusted. In the whole country. Before they were trying to shape this to be a battle between the president and the Honorable Gachagua and Mount Kenya, it is all over because the challenges in this country don't just reside in Mount Kenya.
Okay.
They are across.
Great.
But it's good. But for that 20 seconds, you know, Akiri, I agree. I hear you. You are a lawyer. Yes. You came here to help us. Let me tell you. The whole issue about this levy went through Parliament, both houses, you remember. It was more of Parliament-driven thing. It was not primarily the issue of the what is this, the finance bill of 2023. Take it from me now because that's why I'm here. Having the advantage of being with the President since 2018, being part of the manifesto, and being here now talking, that's why I'm outside here. Because I carry the weight and the pain of the lost opportunity. Why I'm here, Wakiri, is a lost opportunity for the 5 years. If only we did 40% of the issues we tabled before the President like this, as a team of delivery experts, told him, let's do this, 40. Even that 5 would be talking another language. But fights began. The whole idea about helping Kenyans is no longer there. You begin fighting political battles. The people who helped you, you want to impeach them. The people who helped you, the strong CSs from Mount Kenya, remove them, bring other people who are going to be yes people. That is where the whole thing collapsed. I can tell you today, I talk because of the pain of the wasted and the lost opportunity that we had for 5 years to help this country.
So
let me tell
manifesto,
you, in a
manifesto,
nutshell,
yes.
At no one point have we ever agreed we are going to tax Kenyans to build houses for them. Nothing. In any case, Wakili, if I need to tax you, you must sign somewhere that I need to be deducted housing levy so that I can go know how I'm going to build a house. You cannot go meet people. They don't need, they have mortgages, right? Yes. They have their own way of looking for their own houses. Others don't need houses. They want farms so they can be farmed in the village. You come and tax them by force. The general report is the final one. So you ask for our agenda. Our agenda is simple. We have to corrupt housing levy. We have to free the pay slip. We have to ask people to go solve their own housing issues. We have to go back and return NHF and upgrade it. We have to make sure we know what's the education system we are working on. We have to kill all the cartels of corruption. You are talking about Taranta Hera. Taranta Hera every day. Taranta. But we know corruption started when the contractor of Taranta Hera was asked to do a hotel belonging to the ruling elite inside the forest. And the title deed is in the name of Bergut MP. We know. So you are trying to tell us we are doing... No. It was in the news. So this kind of corruption things. Then you go, Wakiri, then you go, Victor.
A disclaimer was...
I said, that's what was said. Then a letter came out.
Yes.
We are talking about the system.
It is allegation, Doctor, right?
Yes. We go, that's what it is in the public. Then, let me tell you what. Let me tell you, Victor. We are being pained because we knew and we thought these things would work. Empowering young people, doing industries in the whole country, helping our own people. What happens? We go build a hotel inside the Mala. Something which Jomo Kenyatta would not do, something which Moi would not do, something which Kibaki didn't do, something which Uhuru didn't do. Are we saying we are the only people who have come on earth? We are changing everything. Okay. We are corrupting everything. Trying to build a hotel inside the Mara. Kenyans are saying, we don't want a one more show anymore. We want a president who is a team leader. Among all the people you see here in the alternative government leaders in the opposition, one of them to be president, others to become ministers, to help in the structure of government. But nobody, the issues of corruption and small-time thieving. It's like a father tiptoeing to the fridge at night to go and steal milk and bread for the children. This is good. It is done. And we are only in February.
I think, Victor, to come and tell us that somebody should build a hotel in Mara, which Moi did not do. Do you know how we held Uhuru Park to be sacred? Who has defiled Uhuru Park? We no longer have it. You are Uhuru Kenyatta, the very one leading onslaught against President William Ruto. Let us be honest.
Uhuru is no longer the president.
He's no longer, but what he did is still standing there. Haven't you talked about Kenyatta?
Accountability.
Haven't you talked about Moi here?
Okay.
They are no longer the president. So we are not going to allow you to use double standards. Uhuru defiled Uhuru Park, a place where women stripped to stop Moi from building anything there. It's no longer there. Uhuru Park is not there anymore, as we knew it. So let's talk about this, my brother. Uhuru has built a private SGR from his land in Mariakani on private land all the way to his land in Naivasha. And you here talking about Sijui Talanta Stadium, Sijui built for somebody a private hotel. The reason why the old meter gauge railway did not provide land for the new SGR is because somebody wanted to be compensated for the multiple land of his own where the stations are being built. He wanted to redirect.
I don't know how I can verify that information, Mwalimu. I'm not so sure how I can verify that.
Victor,
yeah.
SGR is not built on the old meter gauge railway. It is built on new
I'm not
acquired.
So sure, I'm not so sure how I will authenticate that.
But it is. But we have the meter gauge railway still there.
And Uhuru Kenyatta
will
not be on the ballot.
We don't talk when you are talking. Let me tell you, my brother. It's not something to verify. Did we uproot the old meter gauge railway to build the new one? We did not do it. We acquired new land and compensated owners. And we built that railway line straight from Mombasa to Naivasha, Dukamoja huko. And whose land is that? Uhuru Kenyatta. We rebuild for you a railway to your land, then we compensate you for your land where the railway is built, then we use NYS to fence off that land for you.
Okay. There's a question.
And then you come here telling us about Sijui corruption. And this is the same person. Do you know what informed where the Eastern Bypass is? The Northern City. Do you know that this Southern Bypass was built so close to the city center that it almost didn't do what it was supposed to do? Because we wanted to do the Eastern and the Northern bypasses to benefit certain people.
I've been wanting
so
to
this
ask this
Kenya
question.
belongs to all of us, Victor. We must share it equally.
Thank you. There is a viewer here. He's asking this question, but this actually goes to all of you as we come to a close. A very funny name, Kim Pistolero. I don't know what that name is, Kim Pistolero, but it's okay, fine. He's asking, at the end of the day, where are we seeing ourselves now that there is, with regards to the formation that is coming up, the handshake that you're talking about, and now the next regime where we have got the next cohort of young members of parliament. There's a split in ODM, all right? The faction, not a split, faction. So what's going to happen? That's basically the question. I want you to get this for Dr. Mwalimu before I come to you.
Fire the question again.
The question is all about how it's going to be when you have that formation, the handshake, all right, between Uhuru Kenyatta and, of course, Rigathi Gachagua. We have Kalonzo Musyoka, and there's that faction of ODM. How is it going to be moving forward
told you
towards the
that
elections?
President William Ruto's only opponent in the 2027 election is Uhuru Kenyatta using proxies. I sat this very spot and told you that Edwin Sifuna and the group are working for Uhuru Kenyatta. So Uhuru Kenyatta has the Edwin Sifuna group, has the Jubilee group, and has the and is trying to bring them together to remove the very person he promised 10 years in office. To remove the very person who made him president. For a very simple reason. He has to remain within the proximity of power. So, you remember, I said here, even before Raila died, that Edwin Sifuna had already crossed over. In fact, Raila was tolerating him for an opportune time to kick him out the same way he kicked Margerer Langat and Ababu Namwamba. So do not think those people are members of ODM. They are not. Don't you see, it is one of them that Uhuru picked to make the Secretary General of Azimio. So that is a formation Uhuru's formation. Azimio is Uhuru's formation, and even all these others that he wants to use against his own former deputy who helped him ascend to power.
All right.
Sometimes I want to ask Rigathi Gachagua. He said in his community, betrayal is unacceptable. Is Uhuru Kenyatta not a member of his community who betrayed Ruto and betrayed Raila? Is that not a member of his community? So let us not be lied to. Or whenever you want to touch on him, you tell us he left office. He left office and is the one assembling forces against his former deputy. So the bottom line here, whatever is happening in Kenya today has nothing to do with performance. It has everything to do with tribal arithmetic and ethnic dominance.
Which I'm so sure Bobo is not so happy about. How would you respond to that concern? Well, the handshake coming up, the kind of realignments that we are just about to see. I call it, people, men and women are going to have coffee, late night meetings and retreats and all that. A lot is about to happen. What are we likely to see? I'm so sure the president, the ruling coalition right now, is waiting somewhere, looking at how, the game of chess, your next move. So how is going to be now that the handshake that is looming, and then we have another faction, a lot of defections happening around? What would you see?
Well, to the run-up of, as we head to the year 2027, the elections, of course, we are going to see a lot of realignments. And the hand of the former president, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, is something that we are likely to see, largely because he is a youthful person. I mean, he is not as old as the other retired presidents. And sometimes I hear Daktari say that politics can be very addictive. So he might not be so ready to abandon the political field for retirement, of course going with his age. But again, permit me to mention something about the split that we are seeing in ODM. I was a very ardent student of the already departed former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. That is the man I have known throughout my life. I have been electing him for the opportunities I have had. And I don't believe, from where I sit, that the split is actually a split. What we have perceived or what we see as a split in the ODM, I personally and honestly don't see that there is a real split in ODM. And I will say this with the benefit of hindsight.
You think they are united?
I think these are just political games. This is I will probably be forgiven for being naive in politics, but these are my views. I am expressing myself as I think is appropriate in the circumstances. When I look at the situation now, this situation is not any different from the time when Raila Amolo Odinga was alive. During the time Raila Amolo Odinga was alive, Sifuna took the political position that he has already taken even now, the one that he's espousing, the one that is going around Busia and everywhere else saying that he is against Ruto. We saw it even during, there was a certain funeral, I think it's in Homa Bay or somewhere, where Raila, even while he acknowledged that Sifuna, Edwin, my senior in the profession, speaks for the party, he warned him against being so, tough with his positions. But again, he never scolded him for taking that political position. While at it, he also acknowledged that there were people who are now working for the ruling class, for the Kenya Kwanza government or the administration. And he noted, and he said that he has sent his machinery so that it can help the ruling class in delivering its promises to the people. So if you ask me, I tend to believe or imagine that the split that we are seeing right now is one that has been stage managed for the purpose of ensuring that the ODM party, gets a good footing when it comes to bargains or making its bargains in the political table. And probably time will tell as to whether I am correct or what Daktari has made, the submissions that Daktari has made are correct. I tend to imagine and believe that in the fullness of time, this orange is going to be one. And it's going to be one so that it can bargain with the ruling class, Kenya Kwanza.
The only change...
Okay. Good observation there. Okay.
The only thing I have followed Wakili very nicely. Let me start from where he ended. I agree.
Just a minute. To bargain and not field a presidential candidate?
Yes, they do not have. ODM does not have the muscle of fielding a presidential candidate. And they know that too well.
The late Prime Minister said that they should be ready to field a candidate in 2027.
I mean, you see the totality of everything that Raila Amolo Odinga was doing and saying.
Okay.
At one time, he made the assertion that we are not interested about the one term. It is the people who are going to decide whether it is one term or two term or whatever the term it is.
Okay. So can I put it that probably they're, based on what you've said,
yes,
if they unite, so there will be who is the highest bidder, depending on which formation will be there, let alone even the ruling coalition.
Yes.
So you think ODM is trying to position itself for the highest bidder?
Of course.
Okay.
If it had not even been for this, the divide that we are entertained with, then probably ODM will have faded a long time ago. It appears to me to have been a tactic to ensure that we keep speaking about ODM, we keep making it a national discussion, and then ultimately it is going to help ODM to rally its troops behind Kenya Kwanza so that they can get a very good bargain out of that deal.
I'm not sure why Wakili thinks. Why Wakili thinks once this ODM is won, they will necessarily go and bargain with Kenya Kwanza. I don't know why he comes from that school of thought. My thinking is, yes.
And that's why I put it the highest.
Exactly. So, but he doesn't seem to get what you're asking. He seems to believe they can only go to bed with Kenya Kwanza. Let me tell you what will happen.
Okay.
The voice of ODM is Sifuna. The beauty about Sifuna, he has not changed tune. Even when Laila was there, Laila stood and said he is a spokesman.
Yes.
That is important.
Yes.
Can I say this today? If it is true, Laila was taken out. He was taken out because the people who took him out believed he was finally going to lock out, to bolt out of the government. Let's go through it. So this is my thinking. If you looked at the crowds at Nyayo Stadium, if you look at the crowds at Ibondo, how they celebrated Sifuna, how they celebrated Kalonzo, I can tell you 70% of ODM today, they are in opposition. 70%. Hold on a minute. 70%. Remember, the president bought, or thought he had bought Azimio, 7 million. But in the 7 million, Kalonzo went, Western went, Mijikenda went, Masai Kisii, left with ODM. But even in Luo Nyanza today, 70% are gone. Now, this is what will happen. Oburu and the ministers in government, they must keep quiet. Because they are like, they must eat first, properly. They must eat. They agreed this time round. Last time, they were victims of association with Uhuru Kenyatta, and they lost the presidency. So they say this time around, we must keep quiet. I can tell you by December, ODM structure organs will sit down and agree they are going to have a presidential candidate in ODM, just like DCP we have a presidential candidate. Then they are going to come to the table for the united opposition. ODM will end up in the united opposition. That one I can tell you that.
The director is saying that she's been so gracious to us. 30 more minutes on top of, just imagine. You want to say something?
You know, Victor.
Yeah.
When you talk about Sifuna was saying the same things even when Raila was alive. Of course, I do agree. But that is Raila's way of doing things. When ODM was protesting against Ababu Namwamba, every public statement Raila made about him was good. He's my SG. He's our spokesperson. The day he was kicked out, he didn't know what hit him. There was once a chief executive of ODM called Margaret Langat. Raila defended him at every public function. The way he was being thrown out, he was lifted soldier high and thrown out of the gate of Orange House. That is how Raila does it, because when you have a house girl in your house, never let her know she's going to be fired. Yeah. She can poison you. When somebody is having the documents of the party, you don't let them know they are going to be fired. So I think you are thinking in such a way that suits you, makes you feel happy. But the bottom line, if Raila was alive today, Sifuna would have been long out of ODM.
I don't think so.
Please, you will talk about it, and you had already had a chance to talk about it. He would have been long gone. So I can tell you for free, ODM is not going to have a presidential candidate. When Raila Odinga said that, who told you we are not going to have a presidential candidate? That presidential candidate was President William Ruto. Raila Odinga was not going to.
Did he say that? Did he say that? You know,
I am telling you.
Even
these things you are saying.
Mwalim belongs to the 1% of the faction that are eating from government. So it's not.
Can I let you talk? Then when you finish, you let me go.
It's not the 70% that is in the opposition.
So let me tell you.
To Malaysia, yes.
Raila Odinga did not tell you who the candidate was going to be, and it is me to tell you who it was.
Laila Odinga said also that ODM must have a presidential candidate, then go negotiate.
That candidate was Ruto.
That candidate was a presidential candidate to go negotiate with the United Opposition.
So when Raila Odinga joined President William Ruto, do you think this other formation wasn't there?
What was the last?
He had a decision to join Ruto and not Rigathi. Join Ruto and not the organizers of the street protest. And that he was not going to change.
Somebody's asking.
And let me tell you,
okay.
You are saying that 70% of ODM is now in the opposition. In the opposition, didn't you see Ruto in Kisumu? What did you see? And there was not a single ODM leader.
There's a gentleman called Jeremy here.
He was heckled a lot.
There's a gentleman called Jeremy asking, do you guys ever have a peaceful conversation?
No, what we have is a very what do you mean? What do you mean?
You know,
that's okay.
Jeremy should understand. This is the most peaceful we can ever get.
Victor,
it's very peaceful. So you don't have to get worried.
Victor,
we are very peaceful actually.
In other words, he's wondering, are these people are they able to shake hands? Okay, for the sake of it, Jeremy, they are good friends.
But by the way, just a reminder.
They have one another's numbers, but then they're going to drive in same cars. They walk out.
Victor,
Jeremy,
a reminder.
Stay at peace.
Stay at peace, Victor. A reminder.
Okay.
Uhuru Kenyatta is not on the ballot. Let the ruling elite concentrate, know that Uhuru Kenyatta is not on the ballot. He has a right like any other Kenyan.
We all know that.
Please, very, very important. Number two, I have news here, which is very good news for us. One of our good lawyers called Soyin Kalempa has gone to court to stop the president of holding UDA meetings in State House. Jomo Kenyatta never used to do that. Moi used to go to AICC. Uhuru Kenyatta, Moi Kibaki never used to desecrate State House. Please, if you have to do party things, go look for a venue somewhere outside there. So that's very good news for us.
Victor.
So next time we go blind in State House, it needs a community in order to be cleansed.
Okay.
That's very
Victor.
bad.
Okay.
Victor.
The gentleman who has just spoken is called Dr. Peter Mbai. He's a secretary, Planning and Economic Affairs, DCP. Yes, Odoyo Widi.
Victor, all the Jubilee parliamentary group meetings were held in State House. On October 2nd, 2017, Uhuru Kenyatta held grassroots leaders, women, 15,000 of them in State House, complete with party regalia. All parliamentary group meetings at Jubilee, or whatever party were held at State House. Don't tell us about Kenyatta. During Kenyatta, there was no proper constitution.
Okay.
During Moi, there was no proper constitution. Let us talk about the very person that has gone to the streets to remove Ruto from power.
Both of you are speaking from, whichever political side you belong. But can I ask this question? Is it possible to have a neutral ground?
On what?
Which one? On
where
what?
to hold these political rallies and meetings? Is it possible?
Let me tell you, my brother.
Victor.
So, President William Ruto is the President of the Republic of Kenya, living in State House. You can have your guest where you live.
Thank you.
If today the governor of Nairobi has begun a house, he can hold anybody, any meeting there.
We call him Mwalimu. He's a political analyst. Ulikunywa nini leo asubuhi?
Nyuki.
Very nice. Shaja Kombo is an advocate of the High Court. You want to have something?
Yes, I wanted to make mention of something.
Yes.
I think what we are doing, we are striving to have a difference without a distinction.
Yeah.
Because, the example that has been given by Daktari is that the previous presidents used to conduct their meetings in KICC, and it appears to him to be convenient to have the meetings in KICC. KICC is a government building.
Yeah.
State House is equally a government building. It's a house where we claim ownership as a people, the same way we claim ownership of KICC. So really, whether we will have the meetings in KICC, in State House, I think this is just about clamoring to have a difference without a distinction.
Yeah.
Remember, we do not even have a clear distinction in the presidency. The president is the head of state, is the unifying factor. Again, the president is equally the leader of the UDA. So really, now, the point we should be making, if at all we need to look for a neutral ground, then we should be saying it is not convenient for him to have meetings in KICC, it is not convenient for him to have meetings in State House. Let him have these meetings at Safari Park, where he will be hiring those grounds at the expense or at the cost of the party.
Okay.
I think that can be.
KICC you can hire. It's private grounds, by the way.
I think
anybody can
is
hire.
it private?
Yes.
Thank you.
No, it's government.
No, it's owned, but anybody can hire KICC.
Okay.
Even now, we have hired the State House for the president for the period of 5 years.
The State House is a symbol of national unity, where you receive diplomats, not guys with some colors.
Fine. Thank you very much, my friend. The gentleman who has just spoken is called Shadrack Wamboi. He's an advocate of the High Court of the Republic of Kenya.
We are going to win this case.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to the show. I think it has been a very good one. Director says that ametuongeza time deliberately because she wanted it that way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the show. My name is Victor. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
It was a day that changed his life forever. A hit-and-run accident left 15-year-old Ferdinand Kierie fighting for his survival. But through occupational therapy, his journey to recovery is a story of resilience.
A little bit, step, yes, step a little bit. Just slowly, and do side again, that side again, that side again, that side again. Step back, step back, step back. Step back. Very good. Can you move yourself now?
Occupational therapy, often shortened to OT, is a form of therapy that helps individuals achieve independence in their day-to-day activities after illness, injury, or disability. It is for anyone whose life has been disrupted, be it from a road traffic accident, a stroke, cerebral palsy, arthritis, or even mental health challenges. It isn't about occupation as a job, rather about your daily occupations, like bathing, grooming, cooking, schoolwork, and even playing. With the unwavering support of his parents, Ferdinand is slowly rebuilding his life through occupational therapy at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Huyu mtoto alipatwa accident akienda shule, ilikuwa 6:30. Ikakuwa ni hit and run. Kutoka 17th October last year. Tumekuwa na yeye kwa muda huo wote tukimfanyisha therapy. Alikuwa na mambo mengi yenyewe, lakini kwa venye tumeendelea kwa hii hospitali ya Kenyatta, tukaongeleshwa tukuje after ametoka ward na ICU, tukakuja huku kwa occupation therapy. Na tumeona venye tumeendelea vizuri.
Just a few months ago, he was fighting for his life here at the Kenyatta National Hospital. His path to recovery has been long, but with every day, he is one step closer to regaining his future. Dr. Eric Momanyi, a speech and language therapist, has helped Ferdinand recover his speech back.
When the boy came to our facility, he was not able to use or to coordinate his eyes and the hands because of he got affected from the accident. And as we've been doing the therapy, he's able to get the colors done. Fedi?
Yes.
He's trying to coordinate his eyes as well as his hand to color the activity. Also this one, you know, he was a boy in school. And in so doing, he's able to coordinate school vis-a-vis hospital. When he came to the hospital, 1 year off, he was not able to coordinate. Now, I'm trying to bring back that self-esteem that he can be able to write, and as he goes back home, he's able to redo whatever he was doing, that is schooling. Here he is. Now he's able to color. And I'm confident that he's going to achieve his goals in school. As an occupational therapist, I'm here to give that.
Through the therapy, Dr. Eric has also helped Ferdinand coordinate his movements.
You remember our game?
Yes.
Concentration is the game.
Keep ready, me pican.
Fedi, Fedi.
Eric.
Fedi, Fedi.
Eric.
Now, I want us to mention this thing together, okay?
Okay.
Now, how I move. Can you repeat that with me?
How I move.
How
I move.
Today, I want us to learn how things move. People do what?
Walk.
People walk.
Yes.
And that's what I'm expecting from you. That in few days you're going to walk back to
school.
Good. Now, here I go. First animal that I know you'll get interested in.
Yes.
What is that?
A monkey.
A monkey. How does a monkey move?
By swinging.
Can you swing using your hands? Swing. Swing using use your hands to swing. Swing, swing, swing. Swing, swing, swing. Go
fast.
You want faster?
No.
Okay.
I was saying so that I cannot lose the balance.
Don't
then
worry.
fall.
I'm here for you. Okay?
Okay then.
The first animal was?
A monkey.
The second one is, guess?
A cheetah.
A cheetah. How does a cheetah move?
By running.
How? Show
Fast.
me. Show me. Good. Initially, this boy was not able to do and to coordinate such. But as we went on through various activities, he was able to imitate animals, he was able to imitate the environment around him, and now you can see the way he's coordinating his hands very well, and is able to merge with his way of doing things. Remember, our goal is to get this boy back to school, walking.
The road to physical recovery has been the hardest. The accident left Ferdinand with inability to chew and swallow food. But slowly, with patience and persistence, he has begun to regain skills that so many of us never think twice about.
We are demonstrating how now he's able to feed. Initially, he was using the percutaneous endoscopic gastrostomy tube because he had issues, a problem with his muscles. He couldn't swallow, he couldn't coordinate the chewing muscles, and even swallowing in the speech. Now we trained the muscle. We were able to rehabilitate the oral muscles and the neck muscles. And now for the first time he's able to chew and to taste food using his mouth. And just we want to demonstrate how he's been able to achieve that milestone in swallowing and in his ability to feed. Can you take your juice, Ferdinand? You have a little bit of coordination problem, but that one is also good. In occupational therapy, we say you use occupation as a means and occupation as an end. Occupation as a means, you assess the function of the patient, and also as an end, that at the end of it is able to perform that activity like feeding, is able to perform that activity. Now you can see he's able to suck juice from the bucket through the straw, and he was able also to bite the cake and eat the cake, which means that the muscles, his oral muscles, have been successfully been rehabilitated. He's able to coordinate them, the lips, the teeth, the tongue, and even the throat to be able to swallow. Now his quality of life has improved, and even as you can see that his health has improved because now he's able to feed just as normal as he used to be before. So it's no longer a challenge even to parents to feeding him through the percutaneous gastrostomy tube, which requires also high nursing skill and high hygiene skill because it can cause infection. But this one now, he's happy, he's able to feed, and I think we have discharged him as far as swallowing therapy is concerned.
For Ferdinand, every swallow and movement is a triumph. The therapies have become a journey of rebuilding not just his physical abilities, but also his confidence.
Yes, now you can taste food for after how long time? The long time you've been feeding through the tube?
10 months.
10 months.
Yes.
How was your food?
I didn't feel even a taste.
Yes.
I didn't even feel any sweetness or any taste.
But now you can feed on, you told me nyama choma?
Yes.
Oh, you can eat nyama choma.
Oh yes, I can.
And which other food?
Any.
Any food.
Food I can able to eat it.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because of you and God.
Yes.
You have helped me a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
We thank God for you.
Yes, we thank God for you.
Ferdinand's parents have seen a lot of improvements on their son, and that gives them hope.
Improvement yameimprove sana because initially hakuwa hata naweza kusimama, mikono yenyewe hata ilikuwa stiff, haikuwa ina move. Shingo yenyewe hata hakuwa inasafiri, kwa tu ana move right left. But after therapy tumeendelea vizuri, akakuja mikono akaanza kustretch, miguu pia. Bado kuna therapy nyingine anafanyiwa physiotherapy, but inafanyiwa like twice a week at home. Sasa hapa tunakuja hii occupational therapy hiyo ya viungo. Tulikuwa tunatumia splint, but these days now he is not using splint. Now he is studying. Now we are looking forward to the day he's starting to walk.
His mother encourages other people who have patients with similar conditions about the importance of occupational therapy.
Kwa mashauri yangu kama mzazi, nimesema ya kwanza ni kuwa na uhusiano na Mungu, kuomba Mungu akusaidie kwa hii mambo, sababu si rahisi venye mtu anaweza fikiria, na upendo mwingi kwa ule mgonjwa mtu ako naye, na kufuatilia maagizo ya daktari. Kuna wengine wanaambiwangwa ati enda speech therapy, wengine wanapuuza wakifikiria how will it work. Lakini sisi kulingana venye tumeendelea na mtoto wetu, kusema ukweli ina work. Hiyo ukiambiwa kama ni speech therapy, fuatilia, sababu mtoto wetu nasikia hakuwa anaongea, tumefuatilia huku na hao madaktari, tulikuwa na Shivashi, tulikuwa na Eric, na wametusaidia sana. Mtoto ameweza kuongea, mtoto kwa sahi hatumii mpira, anakula kwa mdomo yake. So wenye mko nyumbani na mko na wagonjwa kama hawa, ningemuhimiza mutilie maanani ya kuenda hospitali. Fanyeni hiyo therapy, ina work, inafanya kazi.
The journey to recovery is never easy, but it is always worth it. For Ferdinand, learning to swallow, chew and eat again is just the beginning. With every step, he's rediscovering a new part of himself, a new chapter in his story of resilience. This is not just a story of survival. This is a story of triumph, of a young boy overcoming the odds to reclaim his life.
I am feeling good, and I have noticed a lot of progress in my body. Yes.
Like what?
Like talking, eating with my mouth. You see, like almost a month ago, I used to use a feeding tube, but now I can use my mouth. Yes. And I can use my hands to feed myself. Yes.
And now you can talk.
Yes. I really give thanks to God and my doctors who have helped me a lot.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes from Ganagava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonganagava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
So the Polo event that we got to attend at the Nairobi Polo Club.
From stylish outfits to thrilling polo action, it was a day to remember.
You know, there were different stalls that were showcasing different things that are connected with fashion.
Beautifully brought cultures together. It got to showcase unique and authentic designs crafted from diverse African fabrics.
Call entertainment scene speedily twirls into a lucrative business venture among the young and agile Abantines.
The group is made up of Israel Onyach and Yoya Tajiri, two artists who have grown into one of Kenya's most promising contemporary music acts.
Prostate cancer remains as one of the leading cancers amongst men and is responsible for taking many lives and leaving scores of survivors.
The doctor opened it. I was looking at him. Then I saw his face change a bit. But for us laymen, the word cancer spells doom. Word cancer is death.
Being physically active, avoiding obesity, good diet, mainly red meat also linked to the onset of aggressive forms of prostate cancer, so reducing the red meat intake.
We went to India, he had the cyber knife, and that is the time, you know, from that time, we had been close even before, but I think this brought us even closer.
All treatment options are available locally, okay? So there is no need for the patients to travel abroad for the treatment also.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first. You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Vivian Dagwa is my name. Good Morning Kenya gets to continue, and right about now we talk matters health, and today we are looking at oral health in general, and I am pleased to have people who are, you know, have majored on that and will be letting us in on exactly that. Let me start by introducing to you our guest for the day. I will start with the very far left, from my very far left, that is Dr. Mudaki Musa, and he is a lead dentist at Arrow Dental, Thika Road branch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And then we also have right next to him, we have Emilio. Osoro Brenda, sorry. We have Osoro Brenda, who's a dentist student at the University of Nairobi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
and then we have Emilio M. Mbalo, who's also a dentist student at the University of Nairobi. It's a pleasure to have all of you and set this morning just to let us in on matters oral health. And I would want us to begin right there. When we talk about oral health, what are we looking at in general? Let me begin with you, Doc.
So when we're talking about oral health, it's important to define these two terms. You're looking at the oral section of that statement, which is the mouth in general, As you may know, as dental or oral healthcare professionals, the mouth has various parts we deal with. So you have your teeth, you have your gums, you have your tongue, you have your cheeks. All these can be divided into hard and soft tissues. Health in general is the approach to the well-being of a human. So the term oral health ideally means us taking care of the mouth. Yes.
And it's part of the general health of
Yes.
Yeah.
As WHO defines all these critical terms, the human body is a system. So as we are talking about oral health, we are obviously conjoining it with all other aspects of the human body so that it is a functioning being. Okay.
All right, we've gotten that explanation. Now, I want to speak to the students, to the dentist students on set today. I would just want to know what has interested you so far, you know, matters, you know, dentistry and all. What has interested you so far? What have you learned and it was, you know, like, wow, I would never have known this if I wasn't a student of this?
Well, I'd like to say that you need to realize that when you're dealing with a person, you're not dealing with the mouth separate from the person. You're dealing with a total human being, the whole being. And so even as you take care of someone, as you seek to provide the best of treatment regards with their oral health, you need to realize that the oral health also impacts the general body. And so you need to give, you need to take care of them, not just I'm taking care of the teeth, the tongue, the gums, but I'm taking care of this person as a being, as a whole being, not just doing it separately. Because at the end of the day, you realize that this mouth belongs to someone, and it's not just a section of the person; it's the whole person. And
I love that. It's not just a mouth; it is someone's mouth.
Yes,
I love that. Emilio, what has interested you so far?
Just to summarize. You know, what has interested me in all that, and also just to back up what Daktari and Brenda has said, you know, a healthy mouth is a gateway to a healthy body, to a happy life. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah. All right. I want us to go to this. I'm sure most of us have seen this because it was a topic of conversation across the nation when we had a gentleman actually lose their lives just from something as simple, I will call it as simple but in quotes, you know, as a simple procedure as tooth extraction. Like they just went to see a dentist so that they can have their tooth extracted, but it ended up so fatally, like he lost his life at the end of the day. Yes, that was a quack doctor, but if you can just weigh in a bit on that, maybe, like what is the correlation? I mean, when I go to a dentist, I don't expect to lose my life. I'm just like, it's just my teeth, you know? Yeah.
Okay, so with regards to such an issue, God rest his soul, Amos, when we experience dental pain, it's more or less what the whole practice of dentistry is all about. We're mainly dealing with pain. May it be physical, may it be psychological and the like. So it's always important to regard, you know, the mouth is a pretty, I would say, an organ that someone would not consider life-threatening should anything happen to him or her.
Yeah.
Okay? So just as well as you take care of your GI, your feeding, how you take care of your all musculoskeletal structure, your exercising, your diet, all those things. When you notice that you have pain with regards to your oral cavity, it's always nice to seek professional health care in the sense that it is the least you could do for a well-being of your own self, okay? Approach everything that is like a trigger. We say the human body communicates in certain ways. Pain is one of them. When you let down a signal or a sign as easy as pain, these things progress, okay? A patient wouldn't understand whether the body has an infectious process or not, but the body will communicate in terms of a fever, some pain here and there, some discomfort. This is what you're eating, you're no longer doing the same. You're swollen in the mirror, you're looking at it in the morning, your face doesn't look as symmetrical as it was. These things are pointers to something happening underneath, okay? So with regards to quackery, of course, you walk at a chemist anywhere in town, you tell them you're in pain. First thing they do is they give you some analgesics or some
Yeah.
painkillers.
Yeah.
That in turn, if these are well-trained people over the chemist, that in turn is just a message for you to go and seek further help on the same, okay? It's not a solution.
Yeah.
When you see a poster somewhere in town, someone has written dental clinic, it's always important when you're sitting right across from someone who is in that office to just ask them about their credentials.
Yeah.
How are you? What's your name? Now, the Dental Council in itself, part of the larger Kenya Medical and Practitioners Council, has given us a platform where our names are submitted right after we are done with the professional training. That is inclusive of the internship year. When you search up the name of any of these medical professionals, they will quickly appear there.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, that's already a question mark.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what excuse follows, you have to take care of your body because that is the only one you have. Unlike cars, we don't have spare parts.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you're looking at a situation where he had a serious issue with his wisdom tooth. Now, the other thing about the oral cavity is that it's really close to vital structures of the human body. You have major vessels running around there. You have multiple spaces around the oral cavity. All this can get infectious, can get infected, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
I think that's all I have to say about it. It was a really unfortunate incident, but the greater nation now learns.
Yeah, and you know, it's always right to just do our due diligence. And you know, for most things, like when I'm going to seek medical attention, I don't think about due diligence. I mean, we think about due diligence when I'm going to find land somewhere, you know, but when it comes to health, it's not really something that clicks immediately, but it's high time we ensure that we know who is this doctor, are they registered, you know, and it's easy now with the technology we have, you can just go online and search and you get to know. So it's good that you've clarified that and put that out there so that we know that we also have to just ensure that we are seeing the right people, certified people to do the different procedures that we need to be done on our bodies. Now we'll get to some of them. Conditions that we can get simply from an oral problem. You had touched on it, but we'll get deeper into that. But before we get into that, maybe just what are some of the most common oral problems, the common ones?
On that note, you realize that there's a heavy burden on not only in Kenya but globally, because we realize that the diet we take has an impact on our oral health. Realize something like as simple as sensitivity. I can't enjoy my cold juice. I can't enjoy my hot tea. That should raise an alarm because already there's a process that has started. In simple terms, there's decay, or rather dental caries that has begun, that needs to raise an alarm, and you need to consult your dentist. Something as simple as I'm brushing my teeth, and when I want to spit the toothpaste, I'm seeing blood. That needs to raise an alarm because probably my gums are swelling. There's some inflammation going on because maybe I've not been cleaning my gums and my teeth well, and there's something that is called plaque that is forming. And so that also needs to raise an alarm. And you realize that over time, maybe especially for the older generation, the older people, your teeth are shaking, you know, you can't enjoy your meals as you used to. That also needs to raise an alarm because the support, you know, the periodontal fibers that support the teeth have been affected, they've been compromised. And you know, as I had highlighted on sensitivity, and when you ignore the sensitivity, it progresses. You now have pain, you are not able to sleep, you're not even able to chew food on one side because of the pain. That will also raise an alarm. So things like dental caries because of tooth decay, gum disease, those are major issues that are facing our people. And the sad part is we ignore those issues. And so they build up. And the problem is, the more you ignore something, the worse it becomes. And that also translates to the increased cost of taking care of the issue. And so prevention is very key because these dental issues, dental caries, gum disease, and all that, it impacts our life. Even something as simple as bad breath, it is also an issue. It impacts even our social interactions, how you interact with your friends, your family. It impacts all that. And it narrows down to something as simple as brushing your teeth, cleaning your tongue. And so we need to look at all those issues.
Just to...
All right, I'll have to cut you short. We have a live that we need to get to. We have the official launch of ZD Trader, which is happening at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and we have the president as the main person who's doing the launch. So if we can just head over to the Nairobi Security Exchange, where the president is set to launch ZD Trader.
They are very different. While you are engaged in stock theft, there are people engaged in the stock exchange, trading and buying shares and creating wealth. But along the way, I asked myself, so how is this person going to stop stock theft and participate in the stock exchange if there are no mechanisms for him to do that? Today, I can confidently say that those people engaged in stock theft have no excuse. They can now participate in the stock exchange because this ZD Trader provides them the mechanism and the opportunity to participate. When we talked about bottom-up, and getting people who for a very long time have been excluded to participate, whether it is in our health ecosystem, whether it is in our housing ecosystem. Today there is a pathway for my friends, the mama mbogas and the boda guys, to own a home. There is a pathway for them to access health. And today they have a pathway to buy shares from the comfort of their places in the market, from the comfort of sitting on their motorbike with their phone. Today, with the ZD Trader, they can buy shares. They can trade at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. And that is why I am very, very proud of this moment. When I was asked that technology has assisted us, the confluence of ideas and the synergy that has been built between the leadership of the Capital Markets Authority, Nairobi Securities Exchange, and technology providers like Safaricom, I could not wait for this moment. Today also marks the 5th time I am gracing an event at the Nairobi Stock Exchange in the last 3 years. This is not by accident. It is not because I don't have anything to do. I am not loitering around here. It is because I believe in the capital markets. And I believe in the potential of the capital markets to work with the public sector to unlock the potential of this great nation. It reflects my firm conviction and that of the government of Kenya that financial markets are a foundational pillar of any modern economy. It is in recognition of this central role that we have placed deliberate and strategic focus on strengthening our financial markets through targeted reforms. Central to this reform agenda is the adoption of structured privatization program to develop a robust pipeline of enterprises that can benefit from private sector participation and public listing. For nearly 2 decades, Kenya has not undertaken a major privatization following the listing of Safaricom PLC in June 2008. Over that period, many of our regional and global peers have moved decisively, using privatization to deepen capital markets, broaden citizen ownership of national assets, and accelerate economic growth. The absence of similar initiatives has constrained market depth and liquidity, exposing Kenya to the risk of falling behind at a time when scale, diversification, and investor confidence are increasingly decisive. It is within this context that the ongoing privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company should be understood. It is a deliberate and carefully sequenced policy decision guided by global best practice and designed to build on the reforms already underway. When I speak about the transformation that the capital markets has gone through, it is exactly what the numbers speak. I have insisted that we must hold leaders to their track record. And a track record speaks for itself. The track record of this Nairobi Stock Exchange is clear. And I want to thank Kiprono and team here at the Nairobi Securities Exchange and our friends at the capital markets. 3 years ago, market capitalization here was 1.2 trillion. Today, it is beyond 3 trillion. This exchange was rated the best in Africa in 2024 and the second best in 2025. This exchange had 75%, sometimes 80% foreign investors. Today, it is almost 50-50. Meaning, not just foreign investors have confidence in our stock exchange. Even local investors, they now believe that the reforms that we have undertaken, the status of the economy, when we say that inflation has come down from 9.6 to 4.7 and 4.5 and 4.4, it is reflected in the capital markets. The stability of the economy, the stability of our foreign exchange is reflected in the stock exchange. Our inflation and all the other numbers, including our exchange rate, is reflected in the confidence that not just foreign investors, but also local investors have in our economy. And that is why they are investing in this exchange. And that is why market capitalization is now upwards of 3 trillion and growing. And so I want to congratulate the stock exchange. You have kept a wonderful track record. And we have been your partners in making sure that we guard this economy from shocks that arise from either indecision in government or procrastination of decisions in government. And I want to commit that we are going to work together going into the future. We are not yet through with the reforms that will assist these capital markets to get to its optimal potential. There are some interventions that we will be discussing with the capital markets. John and his team at Treasury will go through the motions so that we can finally get every Kenyan to come on board and participate in the economy of our country. These reforms, ladies and gentlemen, are directly linked to our broader national development priorities. As you are aware, we have set ourselves an ambitious 10-year transformation agenda that includes the dualing of 2,500 kilometers of highways, tarmacking an additional 28,000 kilometers of road, increasing installed energy capacity from 3,300 megawatts at the moment to 10,000 megawatts, and constructing 50 new mega dams, 200 mini dams, and 1,000 macro dams in our effort to bring on board 2.5 million acres under irrigation for us to underwrite our food security and to make sure that we have all the infrastructure that is required for us to lift our country to a first world status. I was in the city of Nairobi on Sunday, and one of the biggest challenges we have in this city is water. We have, in the last 3 years, added an additional 140 million liters of water into Nairobi. But that is not enough. People in Southlands still pay 10 times more for water than people in Karen and Lavington. You know? We need to build Maragua 4 Dam so that we can have enough water in this city. It is one of the 50 mega dams that we have listed as the ones for investment as we build infrastructure for the development of our country. Delivering this scale of transformation requires mobilizing close to 5 trillion, and we intend to achieve this without imposing additional burden on taxpayers or accumulating debt. That is precisely where our capital markets and platforms such as the Nairobi Securities Exchange become central to the solution. Through the structured divestiture of strategic national assets, we will unlock long-term development capital. These resources, channeled through the Nairobi Infrastructure Fund and the Sovereign Wealth Fund, will crowd in private sector investment and finance national priorities while safeguarding intergenerational equity as required by the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are undertaking is not an untested experiment. Many successful economies have followed in this path, deliberately leveraging privatization, capital markets, and institutional reforms to transform their stock exchanges into powerful catalysts for investment and growth. By listing strategic state-owned enterprises, they strengthen capital market depth and liquidity, attract global capital, and elevate their markets from frontier to emerging and ultimately developed status. We remain committed to working with all stakeholders to build markets that are deep, that are efficient, and accessible, markets capable of financing innovation, empowering enterprise, and advancing national priorities. And in this space, we will shortly be looking at what other incentives can we put in place for private companies to also list in the exchange 10%, 20%, 30%, so that we can democratize wealth in the country, and we can also reduce burdens of borrowing. Private sector companies instead going to borrow from banks because they have sufficient infrastructure and they can measure up to all the requirements of the exchange, should be able to come to the exchange to get capital for expansion, for whatever interventions they need, so that we can allow debt to go to more deserving cases. And therefore, this morning is a very proud moment for me that finally, ordinary people can buy 1 share. They can buy 5 shares. You don't have to look for a CDS account. You don't have to know any broker. You don't have to walk to any place. They don't even have to come to the exchange. They can trade from the comfort of their homes, using their phones, and they can contribute to national development. You know, how proud is it going to be that somebody in the far-flung part of our nation can buy the IPO of Kenya Pipeline. I'm informed by Dilip that by Friday, and it had better be Friday, Dilip, by Friday, Kenyans, from the comfort of their phones, they can buy the Kenya Pipeline IPO from wherever they will be on their phone this Friday. Please make it happen so that we can bring on board more Kenyans to own the best of the assets that we have as a nation and to also contribute to national development so that, as somebody said, many Kenyans do not become bystanders and observers, that they too become part of the ecosystem of growing our economy. At the moment, I am informed that we have only close about 200,000 people trading. Just imagine, in a population of close to 60 million, only 200,000 can access the markets because of the market structure. Today, I hope we open the doors for millions to now come into this space and participate and create wealth and own something, you know, be owners of capital, of property, of assets, of shares in companies in a very structured manner. I am pleased to note that over the past 2 years, driven by deliberate government reforms, the NSC has recorded one of its strongest performance in more than a decade. Last year alone, total market capitalization expanded by approximately 48%, rising from 1.9 trillion to above 3 trillion, as I said earlier. This impressive performance reflects improving macroeconomic fundamentals, including lower interest rates, a more stable currency environment, stronger growth prospects, and better coordination between fiscal and monetary policy. More importantly, it signals renewed investor confidence in the long-term direction of Kenya's economy. Let me conclude by congratulating Safaricom on this important market-shaping milestone. I also thank all stakeholders here today for their continued dedication to building a vibrant and inclusive capital markets ecosystem. And you have my 100% support and that of this administration as we consolidate our country and make as many Kenyans as possible stakeholders and participants. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and privilege to officially launch the Safaricom ZD Trader. Thank you very much and congratulations.
And the highlight of, let's take our seats kindly. Let's take our seats. The highlight of this session is certainly the bell ringing, but just before the bell ringing, there is a short panel discussion. So allow me at this point to usher in the panelists, starting with the moderator, the CEO for NSE, Mr. Frank Mwiti, followed.
That was the launch of ZD Trader, and it was officially launched by the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto. Now we get back to our conversation. We were talking matters health, and specifically we were looking at oral health. And before we got to take that break, we were talking about just some of the common oral health problems that we get to encounter on a day-to-day. You, as you know, as a dentist and as a student studying to become a dentist rather, just some of the common problems that you get to encounter.
Just to add on what I had said before we went for the break, I'd like to also add that I was speaking with Daktari, and you know, we celebrated the Cancer Day on 4th of February, and you need to realize that oral cancer is also on the rise. The prevalence is increasing, and so when you are being asked to visit your dentist at least twice in a year, we need to take that seriously, because we need to prevent and even find out or even see things during the earlier stages so that it eases the management. I'd like to add that.
Yeah, and also in line with that, maybe Emilio, you can jump in on this. You do community outreaches, you know, just to spread word on the things that you've gotten to talk about. There's a foundation, you were telling me about the foundation, if you can just let us in on that.
Yes, thank you. When it comes to, you know, promoting the good oral health message out there, a group of students, doctors and like-minded people came together. Me being a co-founder, together with my friend Genga Otieno, Cosmas, we registered a foundation. Its name is Gem Smiles Foundation. Our key message, our mission out there is to promote oral health. We have done quite a number of school programs, 174 school programs last year, you know, just to teach the school-going kids on oral health, how to brush, you know, and how to maintain, you know, good oral health.
Yeah.
We also got a chance to, you know, participate in last year's World Oral Health Day competitions. We were the best globally, went to get the award in China.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Rodental really supported us in that mission. And it didn't stop there. We are also going out to, you know, participate in the same competitions. But our main aim is to, you know, show and teach Kenyans and the children and the community that, you know, a good life starts with a happy mouth, with a healthy mouth. We also do dental camps. We do free checkups. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Musa,
yes.
There's something you had touched on, but we didn't get deeper into it. You know, some of the things or some of the complications that can come simply from you not looking after your oral health. And I was actually surprised to hear you say this, and I also read a bit on that when I was doing the research, that, you know, an oral problem can cause heart conditions. And that was quite surprising. So if you can let us in on that, because sometimes inabidi umeshtuliwa kidogo so that you adhere to the, you know, you going for your checkups.
So now, with regards to the question, I'll just jump right in. Now, oral, as we teach oral health, we have 3 key factors we are looking at. You're looking at a preventive aspect of oral health. With regards to the disorders, you're looking at an interceptive aspect and a curative aspect. Now, in order of that hierarchy, your chances of success go lower, okay? Prevention is always, sorry. So, prevention is always better as compared to working on an actual full-blown issue, okay? So, if you're unable to keep your oral cavity clean, there are millions of, or billions rather, of bacteria that some are good, some are bad. So if you're not keeping clean, of course you're favoring the bad, okay? Now, as the body responds to this bad bacteria, okay? Some of these things share some aspects of human, you could say, some aspect of human identity, okay? So when the body attacks, because your body will take care of you without your permission, okay? So when the body gets to attack or try and protect you as it's fighting this bad bacteria, it gets on an identity similar to what your heart bears, okay? So then these aspects of your body that are trying to protect you, as they fight this bacteria with a similar identity, they will attack any other structure in the body that has that identity, okay? Now your heart muscle tends to share with this particular bacteria that aspect of itself. So when the body attacks you, it attacks the muscle of the heart as well. So you end up having patients who had a trivial issue, in quotes, as poor oral hygiene or infected gums, having issues with their heart. To quote, this is infective endocarditis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. And it can also bring about issues to do with diabetes?
Now, with diabetes as an issue has multiple or what I'd call them as complications of diabetes, okay? So what diabetes does, or people who have diabetes, we have certain exacerbations that occur to the gum health as regards to the same. Yeah. Just the same way as the body reacts to an infection, there are certain buildup of cells that happen, okay? Cells are those tiny organisms in the human body that help you fight at a micro level. So when this is happening, that same effect really has an aggressive outlook on the gum, okay? So if you're someone who has poorly managed diabetes, it's proper to get your oral hygiene checked. Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the preventive bit of it. Just how do I ensure that I'm staying away, I'm staying off of all these complications that may come about from oral health?
Just to chip in on that, you need to realize that something as simple as me brushing my teeth before I go to bed, or brushing my teeth after I take my meal, not immediately, but after breakfast, before I head out, it helps clean out the debris, the remains of the food, because when you chew your food and you swallow some of the remnants, they remain in the mouth. So that will help me clean out, and so that will check on the caries, on the decay, because the bacteria in the mouth will act on the food remnants that have remained. And you realize that fermentation of those carcinogenic, maybe you've taken something that is fermentable, like fermentable carbohydrates. So when the bacteria works on that, it secretes acids. And so that those acids, they demineralize the white part that you can see of your teeth. So you can realize it starts with a small cavitation, which ends up enlarging. So you realize that if you had just brushed your teeth, it would have cleaned out all those debris, and the bacteria wouldn't have anything to act on it. Something as simple as flossing my teeth, using floss. Do you use floss? My people who are back at home, do you use floss to clean in between your teeth? Because you realize when you brush, your brush can't go in between your teeth. So use floss. Floss will help you remove debris in between your teeth.
I think most people just use toothpick, and is that advisable?
You realize that also when you use toothpicks, sometimes it hurts our gums because you prick your gum, and so floss is way better. And then also something as simple as, let me pass by the dentist. You don't have to go there when you're in pain, because that is something different. Probably you just had a small cavity that just needs a simple filling. That will help counter the problem, because you realize that the more you ignore something, the more it progresses. So something as simple as, I passed by my dentist, maybe I go to Arodental, I want to get a checkup, a simple checkup. That will help even identify issues when they're just beginning. I'm a parent, I have children. Am I teaching them about brushing their teeth? And also, am I using fluoridated toothpaste? The toothpaste we are using, some of us use salt to brush our teeth. That is not the way to go. We need to use fluoridated toothpaste, because
needs to have fluoride in it.
Yes, it helps to remineralize the teeth. That will counter again the process that is going on. And just also add on that, things like using mouthwashes, it also helps to counter all those issues. Yeah.
Maybe what you wanted to add something? Or
yes, just to add on what my friend Brenda has said, we also realize that the diet that we use is also greatly impacts on oral health. So diets with high sugar intake really affect our oral health in the aspect that the sugars get fermented after we do take them. And so we should really check up on the diet that we take. Should also get to realize that some lifestyles also negatively have an impact on our oral health, like the use of tobacco and excessive use of alcohol negatively impacts our oral health.
Vaping,
So,
can you talk a bit about vaping? Does it also have the same effect as maybe tobacco and all?
Yeah, it does, because you're mainly looking at, a vape, for example, simply has nicotine, okay? But there are multiple other additives to the same. Now, these things over time cause dryness of mouth, inflammation of the gums. So your overall oral health becomes impacted by anything you're taking in your mouth in form of smoke. Okay? Yes. So the other thing I wanted to add on to my colleagues as they were talking about the main aspect of dentistry, which is preventive, is that we have certain myths all around these aspects of oral hygiene. You have issues online where you should not use fluoride, or fluoride does this and that. Now, the reason we go through all this is so that as professionals we're able to debunk all these myths. So your tissues in the tooth really benefit from the fact that you add on fluoride onto them. This helps you such that you should not do it, but when you skip a brushing session, you have stronger aspects of your tooth to fight bacteria, okay? Now, when you combine all these things, you're brushing twice daily at the very least, you're flossing, okay? You're watching your diet, just as Emilio has said. You're not taking anything too sugary or too acidic. There is the aspect of having a sweet tooth. Sugary things and acidic things are not necessarily bad to partake. But we are talking about the fact that there is negligence after use, okay? You take your acidic food, make sure you rinse or make sure you brush. You take your sugary food, make sure you do the same, brush. We're talking about formation of harmful bacteria or biofilm within the mouth in as low as 4 hours post consumption of these things. So anything out there that is considered negative towards fluoride is totally a myth and should not be followed. The other thing I know with my clientele, some of the guys I've handled, it's that there is the use of cloves to manage dental pain, okay? Now, cloves, in healthcare, we do get our medicine from what the natural earth gives, okay? But this goes through processes of manufacturing, testing, before it's out in the market, okay? Cloves could help you in 1 session or 2, but that doesn't mean you remain with a crater of a cavity in your mouth just because you keep pushing a few leaves inside. Make sure you get your visit. Most of these dental facilities out here, inclusive of Arrow Dental, we're opening branches everywhere. There's a branch in Thika, you don't have to come all the way to CBD. There's a branch in CBD. Whenever you're in pain, you don't have to book all the way to the weekend. Most of these clinics, inclusive of ourselves, are open all the way to 8, 7 p.m., 10 p.m. So just back to the same issue of due diligence. Oral hygiene will save you a lot if you just, and there are 3 key steps. Just the same way you wake up, brush your teeth, work out, make sure before you sleep, you do the same. Brush your teeth.
I want to still, you know, just get your views on home remedies. I know you've talked about the cloves. She mentioned salt. So there are people who are used to using maybe charcoal for teeth whitening, and if you can still weigh in on salt, you know, is it wrong to use such? You know, if I use charcoal and I use salt at home, because sometimes I know even in up country, when you don't have that, you know, toothpaste, you just take the salt and, you know, you use that.
Now, a salt rinse every now and then is not necessarily bad, okay? Because bacteria doesn't do well in areas that are severely dehydrated. But we're looking at things that are in the market that are helping more than just clean. They're trying to improve the overall health of the mouth and its tissues. So salt is not necessarily bad, but it's limited in its use, okay? Charcoal, on the other hand, is totally bad. Okay?
It's totally bad.
Yes, because you're taking something that is severely abrasive, almost coarse in nature, and you're brushing it against the surface of your tooth. Now, over time, your teeth, depending on the color of dentin is a certain layer. Over time, your tooth might appear brighter in color, okay? But soon after, you start noticing severe episodes of sensitivity, okay? Because you have severely abraded that tissue that was protecting you against those environmental changes in food in your mouth, okay? Yes, so if you can stay off charcoal, the better.
Stay off it.
Just to weigh in on that, if you need to whiten your teeth because you're now using charcoal, there are better ways of getting your teeth whitened, your smile brighter. Visit your dentist somewhere. They'll advise you on the appropriate ways, the different treatment options that are there, so that you get a brighter smile through the right way, not just using charcoal, which has its side effects.
All right. There's the question on electric toothbrush or manual toothbrush. Is there any difference between?
I think it's mainly based on dexterity. Okay, patients who are well able, because we're talking about a 45-degree angle of your toothbrush. Get a soft bristle toothbrush, because at the end of the day you have some of those bristles on your gum, so you don't want to injure the same gum you're trying to protect. Okay, so long as you have that 45-degree angle and you can do your circular motions, then you're getting your cleaning done and well enough. But if you have, you know, we have muscle-related issues. If you're unable to perform these fine muscle motions, movements, you get something that does that for you. Okay, so we have the electric toothbrushes, we have the water jet flosses. Okay, you simply place and it works for you. There are multiple westernized, which are currently available in our local market, equipment that you can use if you have dexterity problems.
So they all work?
They all work.
All right, we have about 2 minutes to wind up, so I'll allow you to give us your final remarks each. But even before we get to do that, very quickly, for young mothers, when do you start brushing your baby's teeth?
So that brings me back to the first point. As you talk about the oral cavity, you're not just talking about teeth. You have your gums, you have your cheeks, inner aspects, you have your palate, your tongue, back of your throat. So when a child is born, you have gum pads. Okay? The tiny areas that look like C-shaped surfaces where teeth will come from. Okay? So immediately the child starts ingesting breast milk, because breast milk does have a bit of sugar. Okay? You take, now this is where the salt water rinses comes in. You can have a nice clean piece of cloth, dip it in a bit of warm saline or salted water, just rub along the surfaces of your young one's gum pads. This will ensure the oral hygiene is good enough. Because I have had young mothers who complain, my child has bad breath. No, it's not really the case. You just have to also adhere to her, or his or her oral hygiene the same way you do yours.
Okay. 15 seconds each. Final remarks. 15 seconds.
Okay. As we wind up, I'd like to, conclude by saying that our oral health is not just about teeth. It's, about our overall well-being. And just to end with the World Dental Federation, quote and slogan of the year, that a happy mouth is a happy life.
Thank you.
I'd like to tell us that let's not look at our oral cavity as something small, but it's way much important and way much bigger than we actually think. So let's take care of our teeth and our mouth. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you for the session we've had today. I hope we have communicated well enough about oral health. Welcome to any of our branches. Get your services done. And yeah, that's it. A happy mouth is a happy life.
I love that. A happy mouth is a happy life, and that is where we get to end today's Good Morning Kenya. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who started with us from the beginning until this point where we get to say goodbye to you. On behalf of everyone who has made this show a success, we wish you a lovely day. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Tumaini hawezi kukubali mtoto asiyekuwa wake. Na ndio maana Hapo awali mimi nilimjua mke wangu, lakini nimempoteza.
Mimi sitaki chochote kutoka kwa baba yako. Wasikia? Na kama wataka wakili wangu mwanike wakili wako, atafanya hivyo.
Niondoke, utashanga sasa hivi. Hii si nyumba yako, useli kunifukuza.
Sasa nini?
Using a face scan to open doors, smart locks make that possible. Being allowed to take your next exam only after passing facial recognition, some universities in India are already testing this. In China, facial recognition is used to control payments, access to buildings, even behavior. This technology is no longer futuristic, it's already here. And while it can be helpful in some situations, it can also be dangerous in the wrong hands. Let's take a closer look. Facial recognition is used for many different purposes. In some cars, all I need is a face scan and the position of my seat adjusts automatically to my personal settings. If I'm tired or distracted, a warning system notices. The software tracks my eyes, my arm movements, and even when I yawn. Clearly, it's time to take a break. Banks also use biometric data to identify customers. Some ATMs are now testing face recognition. This might sound safe, but some scammers have already found ways to bypass these security systems. Using biometric data for identification is controversial, especially when the data can be accessed by state institutions. When authoritarian regimes use facial recognition software, the need for clear laws becomes obvious. Misidentification, vague rules around data collection, and a lack of transparency are major concerns. In China, the government stores its citizens' biometric data on centralized servers. In Xinjiang province, this data is used to monitor the Uyghurs, a predominantly Muslim ethnic minority. A vast network of surveillance cameras tracks people's movements. The United Nations has already called this use of surveillance technology a crime against humanity. In Turkey, police officers use body cams equipped with facial recognition. This allows them to identify individuals in real time. Officially, the technology is meant for identity checks, but critics worry it's actually being used to monitor activists. Under both Turkish and EU law, this kind of sensitive personal data is subject to special protections. That means police need a legal basis or explicit consent to collect it. At protests, though, that's often not the case. And the accuracy of facial recognition is also under debate.
If 10,000 or 20,000 people show up at a demonstration, lots of photos will be taken. Some with faces partly covered, people packed closely together, poor lighting or awkward angles. In those cases, the facial recognition system may struggle to identify people correctly. So it's quite possible the error rate will be much higher than normal. And someone who was nowhere near the protest could end up being fined.
Being convicted of something I never did sounds terrible. Yes, artificial intelligence is great at analyzing huge amounts of data, better than humans, and might even help identify suspects in a crime. But facial recognition does have its limits, especially when it has to rely on blurry surveillance footage. And algorithms based on biased training data can lead to errors. So how does facial recognition actually work? Once a photo is taken, the software isolates your face from the background, removing anything else to focus solely on your facial features. Most facial recognition systems also use liveness detection. This checks for depth, movement, and even the thermal or reflective qualities of human skin. It's designed to tell whether it's seeing a real person or just a photo or mask. Next, the software maps key features like your eyes, nose, and mouth. These measurements are converted into a unique digital code, like a fingerprint, but for your face. That code is then compared against the facial features database. For authentication, like unlocking your phone, the system looks for an exact match. For identification, like finding a suspect in a police database, it searches for the closest match instead. But these systems aren't perfect. In complex situations like large crowds, poor light conditions, or partially covered faces, their accuracy drops. And the error rate is significantly higher for people with darker skin, increasing the risk of false positives. This happened in 2020. Robert Williams, a black man from Detroit, was wrongly handcuffed and arrested. Facial recognition software had identified him as a suspect, even though he wasn't at the crime scene. And this is not the only case. Facial recognition systems are highly disputed. Around the world, police follow a similar method. They compare surveillance footage to biometric data stored in their databases.
Police can request facial image analysis automatically, with no oversight. They simply run the facial recognition software, which returns 5 possible matches. Then, on the basis of those hits, the officer chooses the one they think most resembles the person they're looking for.
In essence, the software suggests options. It doesn't deliver foolproof results. A human decides whether the image from the camera matches the database entry. But without additional evidence, this method clearly falls short. Automatic facial recognition to identify people suspected of crimes is also controversial in Hungary. Authorities there can even use it at demonstrations to stop crimes before they happen. But what do ordinary citizens think about this?
Everyone has rights. Facial recognition violates my freedom.
Public cameras can help catch offenders. I think that's a good thing.
The powerful can easily abuse it.
It's really frightening and a bad development. These methods are used in China and North Korea.
Why is this such a controversial issue in Hungary right now? Because facial recognition can now be used by the government to target its critics or against LGBTQ+ activists, especially because demonstrations like Budapest Pride were banned in 2025. And in general, the Hungarian authorities can now use facial recognition to identify suspects for any crime, big or small.
This basically means that if you drop a tissue or park in the wrong spot, facial recognition can be used to identify you.
The widespread use of facial recognition, even at protests, has drawn heavy criticism. Human rights organizations are particularly concerned about Hungary. In 2023, the EU passed laws regulating this kind of surveillance technology. They're meant to protect free speech and minority rights. But critics of the Hungarian government now fear those rights are at risk.
If it's being used to suppress demonstrations, then this kind of mass surveillance using facial recognition technology clearly goes against the Hungarian constitution. It also violates EU data privacy laws.
Once your face is in an official database, the risk of being recognized even by mistake is much higher. Some activists try to confuse the cameras by wearing special makeup. Some wear clothes like hoodies with oversized hoods or jackets made with reflective materials. Others experiment with patterns, for example, QR code prints, or even garments that trick the software into thinking you're an animal. Do these tricks actually work? We don't really know, because state authorities rarely share how their systems and surveillance methods work, or when, if ever, the data gets deleted. In China, avoiding state surveillance has become nearly impossible. Over 700 million cameras record everything day and night. Nowhere else does the government have access to so much digital information about its citizens. And what is this data used for? Besides surveillance, it's even been reported that it's being sold. Cameras are seemingly everywhere in the Chinese city of Shenzhen. Estimates suggest that more than 5.7 million cameras are installed here, making it the most closely surveilled city in China. Facial recognition has become part of daily life. Whether you're taking the subway or paying for tickets, data is constantly being collected. This technology is now a core element of China's ever-expanding state surveillance system.
For the Chinese government, facial recognition is key to maintaining stability. They want to know where anyone is at any given moment. That way, they can detect potential gatherings early, allowing them, for example, to monitor any protests.
Facial recognition cameras can track people's movements in public spaces. Some even record audio. Each citizen has a personal profile filled with data. Face biometrics, iris scans, voice samples, even DNA.
This data is stored by the government long term. Often it's local governments and local police who store it, and then use it to track opponents, detect behavioral patterns, and solve crimes.
The more personal data the state collects, the easier it becomes to identify individuals. But the Chinese government cannot guarantee data security. Reports show that the black market for personal data in China is booming. Millions of data sets are being traded, everything from health and location data to biometric information.
On one of these Chinese platforms, if I had someone's personal ID number, I could basically find their real-time location and facial recognition data for surprisingly little money.
Often, all it takes to access sensitive information is a connection to state networks or private company servers. Strict laws exist to prevent illegal data trading, but they're rarely enforced. And when state institutions stand to benefit, police and courts are more likely to look the other way. Clearly, we need stronger protections for biometric and real-time location data. We need clear rules on how data